And good morning, this is David.
Hi, and I'm Brenda.
And we're from OutsideOurBubble.com, and we're bringing you the last of a 3-day live drive all the way from Quartzsite, Arizona to Fredericksburg, Texas. Today is the last drive going from Fort Stockton to Fredericksburg, and we should be live and broadcasting just fine right now.
Yep, I just had to clean our sunglasses.
Please be aware, for those of you out there, we are in a very poor cell phone area. So we're only as good as our data allows us to be. Those of you who have followed us before know that. Most of you that are online right now know that as well because you've followed us before and you knew we were going to drive today.
Yes.
So we're in a bad cell phone area. We're only as good as our 4G Verizon data allows us to be. And we are pulling out of...
The car's tracking okay?
Yep, the car is tracking fine. Looking at it in my mirrors right now. And we are pulling out of the Hilltop RV Park in Fort Stockton right now. Like I said, we're from OutsideOurBubble.com. We have 2 other live cameras, which are on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's at OutsideOurBubble.com. Towed. Our total travel time today, or excuse me, our total travel distance today is 263 miles. And for those of you who watched us yesterday and we were talking when we got here, we were talking about getting a fuel stop right away, right when we got here. That's no longer the case. We are going to take the chance.
We did some calculations.
We did some calculations, yes.
David, I told David, if your calculations are correct, you're driving.
So guess what? I'm driving. More or less, we're taking.
Turn right on Northwest 10 Frontage Road.
More or less, we are going to go push through to the last Flying J. Well, once we pass the Flying J up here at the next exit, we don't have another one for 200 miles. And we have just slightly above a quarter tank of gas. However, all of our computers and everything...
1/2 mile. Turn right on Northwest 10 Frontage Road, then take the first left.
Hang on. All of our computers and everything tell us, well, my onboard computer, my scan gauge computer, tells us that we should be able to make it. So, will they or won't they make it to where we need to go?
Be careful of it's a sharp turn and then you got a stop sign.
So even though we have to go 263 miles,
turn right on Northwest 10 Frontage Road, then take the first left.
So even though we have to go 210 miles,
you need to go that way. See the GPS?
Yeah, it said right though. I heard it say right.
Yeah, I think that was just that slight
curve. Is that
curve.
good? We're good?
In 3/4 of a mile, turn right on US 285.
So, we have to go 262 miles, and the closest Flying J is 200 miles from us. And not here or here? Not here.
Turn right on
Let's just get on the highway first.
Then take the
10
first left.
east is here.
Again, this is telling me to go further. This
Well,
GPS is so effed up.
I'm following the signs. We're going 10 east. It's right here.
Why this is telling us to go further, no freaking clue.
Turn left at the stop sign.
That's not it. See, you were incorrect.
I was following the 10 east sign, love.
Yeah, because it wants to take us through the city, remember?
Well, we got to do it now. I was following the sign.
Okay, so see what happens in the morning? Sometimes the GPS.
Just got to pay attention.
We were paying attention. You weren't actually at this particular point. We've done this. We've been here how many times?
I know. And we
usually are going that way though.
We're usually going the other way.
So we should have went straight down and picked it up where we were supposed to pick it up, and now we have to go through the city, which
it's a town.
It's a town, but it's a couple miles worth of town.
Well,
stoplights, slow speeds.
It would have been a couple miles of frontage road, but it is what it is.
Yes, it is.
We'll probably go right past the Flying J.
Thanks. That's going to really add insult to injury if we don't make it to the next Flying J. Thank you very much.
Well, we were going to go past it anyway.
Oh, crap.
continue on West Dickinson Boulevard.
So, anywho, we have to go 200 miles once we pass this Flying J up here that we would have gone right by, and we are going to go right by, to get to our next fuel stop. And we have a
3/4 of a mile.
just over
Turn
a
left
quarter
on
tank of
US
gas.
285.
But our only saving grace is 60 miles out from that. There's a Walmart, by the way. 60 miles
Yes.
out from that.
That's where we would have stopped last time when they didn't have our reservation.
60 miles out from that is a different type of fuel stop, not a Flying J or a Pilot. So we would take on some fuel there. I'm confident we can make where we've got to go to. It wants me to now backtrack. Just
Well,
look for the I-10 signs.
I'm sorry, love. I didn't have Google Maps up, and I was looking at the sign, and the bridge was right there, so I thought you got on right there because that's where you get off.
It wants me to turn here, which
Turn left
doesn't
at
make
the traffic
We
light.
can turn here. I'm looking at Google Maps.
Is there an entrance? But it's going to bring me back the way I came.
Then keep going, and we'll meet up with the highway. It's up to you. I'm just
Brent, how far back do we have to go if I go back the other way? Seriously. This is a good morning thing. This is
right
not
here.
Yeah, we're going back all the way we just came.
Or as I said, you can go straight and just. You've got an arrow, love.
I'm going to go straight
Okay.
because I don't now I don't trust anything I'm being told because I-10 I knew where that was, but
Okay.
now we gotta. That sucks. Good morning, everyone.
Look, there's a donut palace drive-through. Let's just get donuts.
Drive-through. Let's go through a drive-through. So, anyways, we're now in the town of Fort Stockton. Yeah.
We're just.
Sightseeing. We're sightseeing.
In 2.5 miles, take the ramp ahead to I-10 East.
Long distance.
This is actually looking at Google Maps is shorter. I'm gonna look at my Google Maps and see. Oh, this is your computer.
Oh, that sucks. This is not a way to start a morning, a drive morning at all. It's not how we normally start a drive morning. Usually we just jump right back on the expressway. And in this particular case,
A lot of times we don't stop at the Hilltop RV Park going east, so. But I remember doing this before.
and the funny thing is the exit we're going to go back get on. This is going east from the west. All the way up here is where it wants us to get off to go back to Hilltop RV. We think it's because the Chamber of Commerce wants us to go through the city, the town, to see things. Even though there's an exit right there before right before Hilltop RV.
Okay, looking at Google Maps, this is 0.2 miles quicker.
Oh boy.
Or shorter, I should say.
Oh boy, yippee. It might be.
Well, you were worried about fuel, so
It might be shorter, but it's a lot slower.
2 minutes slower.
See? Told you. A lot.
I love you.
I love you too. Yeah.
I wanted to see the town again.
Yeah, I knew you had an excuse somewhere. You just didn't want to tell me.
Well, you didn't want to stop for the donuts.
No, I did not. We got Pop-Tarts after all, so why should we buy donuts?
Yeah.
I know why. Because you don't have to be hungry to eat a donut.
Oh, movie quote.
Yep, don't have to be hungry to eat a donut. That's a movie quote. What's that from?
I remember what that's an old one.
Don't have to be hungry to... What? You don't have to be hungry to eat a donut. Danny DeVito said that.
Oh, that was a hint.
That was a hint. Of course it was a hint. What movie was that from?
That was a pretty big hint.
That's a good hint.
See, because the I-10 expressway actually goes up and around.
Yeah.
I'm saving you 0.2 miles.
Yeah, but you're saving me... nothing.
There's an old motel. I don't think that's working anymore.
Yeah, now we're on bad roads. Wonderful.
It's right
Oh,
here.
no, it's right here. I think it's because I know what's going to be. She wants me to go buy this Flying
3/4 of a
J,
mile.
just
Take the
so.
ramp ahead to
No, we are.
I-10 East.
The Flying J was up there.
Well, you wanted me to go buy it so I can see it, and then you can say I told you so. I think we'll make 200 miles on a quarter of a tank. We better. I mean, if
A
it
little
doesn't,
bit more than a quarter of a tank, but yes.
it should be no reason we can't do that. We usually don't. We've only made risky moves like this one other time.
And when we first got the coach or close to it, we actually, when we filled up, we tried to calculate how far we went on each quarter of a tank.
Which varies based
Take the
on.
ramp ahead to I-10 East.
You're good.
I know. I'm
Straight.
just verifying. That signage, I will fully admit, that signage back there where we first did this mistake pointed I-10.
It did not say business loop. It said I-10.
I-10, exactly.
And the bridge going over I-10 or under I-10 was right there.
And it should have said I-10 East straight ahead. So, but again, I think the Chamber
Well,
of Commerce.
no, it said I-10 East. It did say East. That's why I said, well, it looked like the on-ramp was right there because the bridge was right there. And that's where you get off.
Well, we're now
So
on
we're on
officially
I-10.
I-10. Yippee!
We are on I-10 now.
And everything is tracking fine. What a start to the morning.
Continue
Hey, if that's the
on
worst that
I-10.
happens, unlike running out of fuel before we get there, that's great. So,
That'll be fun.
for those of you who do not know who we are, I'm David.
And I'm Brenda.
We're the argumentative couple who drives a motor coach. I'm kidding.
Oh, people are saying other people's money or War of the Roses. Nope, it's neither of those. You want me to say it? You can say
No,
it.
no, let them keep going.
Okay.
All they're doing is naming Danny DeVito movies.
Yeah.
I think somebody might have got it right.
Well, I'm scrolling.
I-
Sally says, good morning, you two. Let's see how much you will help me procrastinate with my chores today. Coffee in hand and ready to roll with you.
I think one of them, I was thinking the movie was War of the Roses. That's what I was thinking.
No,
Or was it,
no. Do
okay,
you want me to give another hint?
sure.
Marissa Tomei
Oh, that doesn't help me at all.
was in the movie.
Any case, so anyways, I'm David, this is Brenda. We're from OutsideOurBubble.com. We've recently started doing these live drives when we left New York in October. And so we're doing these live drives where we answer people's questions live on the road as we travel going down the road. And it's usually really boring or something. I don't know why people watch us, but they do. We're traveling, you are traveling today, we are traveling today. Today is the date of...
Today is Tuesday, January 30th at 10:14 a.m. Central Time.
Just so you're aware, if that is currently your date, then you are watching us live. If it is not your date and time, then you're watching us a recorded show. So, you're traveling along today in a Tiffin Allegro Bus, model 45LP. We are 42,000 pounds loaded for travel the way we currently are. We are pulling a Jeep Grand Cherokee behind us, about 5,600 pounds, making our total length 64 feet long. And we average, even though the last few days we've been getting crushed,
Well, because the wind has been coming straight at us.
we average a 7.5 miles to the gallon. The last 2 days, we've only been averaging 6.5 and 6.8, respectively. However, that was because the wind was coming right at us out of the east. Today, the wind is coming at us from the southwest. So, we should have better gas mileage today.
Okay, I stand corrected. It is other people's money.
Other people's money, that was the other one.
Now, well, that somebody had said that. I was really every time we say it, I always think it's my cousin Vinny.
Oh.
Because he's
Yeah,
the lawyer, and she goes in.
I can see that.
See, I'm picturing the scene where they go in, and he's like, "You want a donut? You don't have to be hungry to eat a donut."
Yeah, but that was obviously in the other movie.
Yeah, obviously it was the other movie.
Congrats. Who said that? We have to give a shout out.
Well, let me see. A few people have said that.
Who was the first, though?
That's what I'm looking for. David C.
David
Other
C.
people's money.
Ding, 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 ding. David C.
Richard said other people's money, and then he said it is other people's money. And yes, he is correct. Because I always think it's my cousin Vinny.
Right, but David C. got it. So shout out to David C. Ding, 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 ding. So we do this once in a while. We'll come up with movie quotes, and then you guys have to figure out what it's from. And you don't win anything, but our appreciation and being able to say your name on a live broadcast, because nobody else does live broadcast. No other RVer does live broadcasts like this that we are aware of. We've looked, we have not seen that, so this is kind of unique to us. But however, as soon as the other RVers catch on, the other bloggers, we're sure they're going to probably do the same thing, and then we won't be unique anymore. Wait, we'll always be unique, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So one of the questions is, why push your fuel and instead of just filling up right here at the one exit up, why push your fuel?
Two reasons. One, because I really want to know. I sometimes like to take chances on things.
We don't normally get this low on.
We don't normally get this low on fuel. Usually it's a quarter of a tank, and then we fill up somewhere. But our next fill up of a Flying J or a Pilot is 200 miles down the road. But we have a backup plan that's 60 miles closer. Thus, we only have to really go 140 miles, and I'll just keep an eye on the fuel gauge and see how that goes. And the other reason is because think about right now, we're very light in fuel. So the weight, we should do better in gas mileage. The lower in fuel you go, the more gas mileage you should be able to obtain. If we fill it up, diesel fuel is about 7 pounds per gallon, and we have a 150 gallon tank. So filling up, to 150 gallons, that's 700. That's almost 1,000 pounds worth of fuel on board.
Oh, so apparently I need to start drinking coffee or something because, you had said Danny DeVito, which you are correct, but my cousin Vinny, Danny DeVito's not in it.
Not in the movie.
That's Joe Pesci.
That's Joe Pesci. I'm thinking, oh no, I don't think he's in the movie, but I didn't want to say anything because didn't want to say anything. So, hey, just also a reminder for those of you who haven't followed us before and are just finding us, we are transmitting over Verizon 4G using a WeBoost 4GX RV system for boosting our signal strength. We're only as good as our cell reception allows us to be. Our cell transmission more than reception, actually. So, be aware that we are, in our travels, where we're going, we do get out like right now in the middle of nowhere, and cell phone reception becomes very spotty, and we will break up, we will slow down and pixelize, or we may just drop altogether.
We'll come back though.
But we usually end up coming back within a few minutes, a few seconds, something like that. So just want to give you a heads up on that, because we're only as good as the tech allows us to be.
Kent wants to know, how did we like Hilltop RV Park? Stayed a number of times and found it to be a nice stop.
That's exactly it. It's a nice stop.
I wouldn't want to say they're longer term, but it's a nice overnight.
We consider it a nice overnight. Usually the people that are in there are more workers that are around the area, I do believe.
You're not going to get kids running around.
Yeah, you're not going to get kids running. Yeah, that's for sure.
And anything like that. It's mostly overnighters and the oil workers.
Yeah.
That are there more permanently.
One of the things I just don't like about the park is that Hilltop RV is a very nice place. It's a very great for us overnight stop.
It's tight.
It's tight.
But it's doable.
Yeah, the spaces are long, but it is a pretty tight place.
Don't know.
Well, we don't know, but he might. He was watching our live cam.
Good morning from Munich, Germany.
Hello,
from
Germany.
Canada.
Wow.
We got Canada.
We get it. We have an international following.
Yes.
It seems.
We're international stars.
Does that mean we can fly business class or actually fly first class now?
Sure, if
we
pay
fly
for
over.
it.
Oh. So we don't automatically get upgrades like the stars do?
No.
Oh. If we want to fly overseas, we don't get our own private Learjet?
Oh, and he wants to know, does the Jeep also clock up the mileage being towed?
It does. No, it does not.
Any vehicle that I know of being flat towed, that's you don't clock up the mileage.
We are the Jeep is, for all intents and purposes, for the most part, dead right now. The transfer case is in neutral. So can we eat breakfast now?
Yeah, I was gonna say
it looks like this part getting internet now. So our stream is going in and out because we are literally nowhere, which really sucks. You were supposed to say that with me.
Okay.
Pop-Tarts.
Try again.
No, I already said it once.
Okay.
You ruined it.
Tuckered Out says, for whatever you want to take questions, did you ever consider a gas tiffin instead? What are your thoughts about full timing with a gas tiffin?
The gas ones are too small for our needs. We wanted a large coach because we're living in it full time. Don't get me wrong, a lot of people live full time in smaller RVs too. Not saying anything's wrong with that. But for us, we wanted a large coach, and for us, we wanted a diesel pusher. So we had never ever considered one at all. You can't get a large rig like this in a gas. They're just too heavy. You don't have the torque you need in a gas engine that a diesel engine gives you with an Allison transmission.
Marcelo is checking in from Buenos Aires, Argentina again. Mike from Kansas. Corey's got his coffee in his hand.
Oh, Corey's with us. Hey, Corey.
I saw when people started chatting before we came on the air. Somebody actually said, good morning, David and Brenda. Oh, and Corey too.
Corey's been with us on every trip.
Well, except that one.
Sure. But I believe he rewatched it.
He did.
A recorded show.
Nobody's got any questions? We're just gonna sit here and eat our breakfast?
I guess so. Sorry, but it is 10 o'clock to us. We hadn't eaten breakfast. We waited for you guys so you can eat your Pop-Tarts with us.
Scott says, what's your favorite Pop-Tart? We do the brown sugar and cinnamon.
Yeah, we seem to be partial to that. And yes, we're eating them just fresh out of the bag. We're not heating them up in the toaster because then they're kind of hard to eat when they're hot. At least for the driver.
Well, I'm not going to sit there and get the toaster out and try and make Pop-Tarts while we're going down the road.
Yeah. Oh, look at the pretty mesas. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty views out our front dash cam. Outsiderbubble.com. Click on live cams, and click on dash cam or rear cam if you want to see our tow vehicle in action.
Red Bear Alaska wants to know how the wind is today.
We just mentioned it actually a few minutes ago, so rewind it and listen to it. Only kidding. I say that because you're a frequent follower of ours, so I can joke with you. We're happy to report that today it's out of the south. It's coming out of the southwest. So we should do much better today in mileage, fuel mileage, and less disturbance wind noise wise on the front of the coach, because as mentioned before, for those who didn't know, the last 2 days we were going directly into the wind, and the winds were 10 to 15 miles per hour, which does not help at all. Noise wise, comfort wise, driving, and of course fuel mileage wise.
Mike wants to know if we come to Kansas much. I think we've driven through Kansas once, maybe. I don't recall. It's a few years ago at least. But no, we haven't really gone to Kansas. Keith, I'm not sure what you're asking. How does your Allegro, and then you stopped. So I don't know what you're asking.
Oh, look at that view. Wow. Then again, just so you guys know, if you do look at the outside cameras, they don't do the image that we're seeing right now, they do not do justice. The cameras do not do them any type of justice whatsoever. The views we are seeing are majestic views right now. We are going between mountain hill ranges. There's mesas that are flat-topped land that looks like somebody just took a perfect X-Acto knife and just cut the top of the mountain off. But it is erosion that's happened over time. But they're completely flat, and then they just drop off, and they're all around us, and it's just a really cool sight. But of course, in order to have energy, what did the people do? On the top of these beautiful mesas, energy companies have built giant windmills on top of these beautiful mesas. That's okay, there's a lot of mesas out here, and we do need energy, and clean energy is better energy. So I have no problem with windmill energy at all. But the views are still very majestic. It's really, really real. This is one of the reasons when we started RVing and came west for the first time.
Oh yeah.
We had no clue what we were in for, and oh my gosh, we were just so amazed. And I remember the first time we came west, and I still say it to this day whenever we go west, is this is why we did this. Look at these views. This is what RVing is all about. And today is no different, guys. Today, or back in 2008, going west,
still is awe-inspiring.
Awe-inspiring every time we do it. The bad news is now we're heading east. Why is that bad news? Because we know as soon as we get past mid-Texas, the traffic starts to increase, the congestion starts to increase, and it's just not as comfortable as being out here.
The roads aren't as open.
On I-10 with open roads, nothing, open, it's just beautiful. Except the internet, comes and goes. So I'll stop babbling about our beautiful site that we're currently seeing. But if you get on the road, you'll know exactly what we mean someday if you're traveling out here. You'll say, David and Brenda hit the nail right on the head with these views. They're awe-inspiring. They're amazing. And when you go through the mountains and you cross the passes and you crest through one of those and you see these huge vistas in front of you, it's just so cool. Okay.
Are you good?
Yeah. So go RVing. Hey, they should put that on the RIV website. Go RVing. David and Brenda said so.
Marcelo says, hey, we have a problem here. My wife loves a 6x6 Expedition RV. It's a Unicat, and she saw it on YouTube yesterday. It's a monster, but cute.
Don't know what that is.
I don't think I've ever seen one on the road. Jim says, good morning, David and Brenda. On my third cup of coffee. David, did you get your third cup?
I'm just starting my second, Jim.
And then Keith finished his thought. He said, how does your Allegro compare to your previous RV?
Oh, night and day difference.
Well, our previous RV was a 43-foot 2008 Gulfstream Tourmaster. And it was a Class A, but even though it was 43 foot, it was not a tag axle. So there's a big difference right there. They're both diesel pushers.
But the ride and the fit and finish of the Tiffin, and also understanding it's a much more expensive coach than what we had before. You can't compare the two.
Have we ever tried pecan pie in a jar? No, but
Nope.
that sounds good. Put that over a scoop of vanilla ice cream, warm it up a little bit.
Hell yeah.
John's eating a Pop-Tart with us.
Go, John.
Corey says, how dirty is your coach after all this driving? I bet Mr. David is really ready to wash it. Yes, he is.
At the last two stops, I so wanted to. The last one, there's no way possible because you get water on the ground, it becomes paste.
You would just create mud.
You would just create mud. White
You
mud.
might as well just wait until we get like to Fredericksburg and then.
But coming out of the desert at Quartzsite and
Oh.
stopping at our first stop, I so wanted to wash the coach. Spray it off at least. But alas, I could not because we didn't have a water hookup.
What's our current temperature outside? I don't know. What was it? It was in the 60s. Or we're not yet.
Actually, we're going to Fredericksburg, Texas on the way there. The high in Fredericksburg today is slated to be 64.
Doreen, where's the kitty cat? Well, they're both sound asleep in their spots because we brought the slides in and they just go to their respective spots and pass right out.
Look at there's a FedEx truck coming out of the desert, love. They must have been bringing parts for those giant windmills.
See that? The giant FedEx semi.
A FedEx semi truck is coming out of the desert lands out there, dirt road, and they must have been delivering parts out to the windmill systems out there.
Yeah, because that's like that's a manned gate there.
It's a manned gate that, yeah, got to be let in with. You don't see that often, a semi truck coming out of that type of an area. It just looked really weird.
Marcelo said it's an off-road truck like the monsters that some use to cross the Sahara Desert.
Oh, we did. Remember that one you saw the other day? That
I
you
saw it
showed
on
me?
Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. I wonder if
didn't
that
see
was.
it in person.
Yeah, well, yeah, the one on Facebook. I don't know if that was the same one, but that's what they're referring to, I believe. 6x6 sounds a little small, though. Oh, unless he means 6x6,
No,
as in the drive wheels. There's
tires or
actually
something.
6 drive wheels.
Yeah. Oh, Kent, who's asked if we ever had pecan pie in a jar.
Yeah.
He said there's a little shop in Fredericksburg on the main street that sells it.
Oh, we gotta.
It makes the best pecan pie. If
No.
you choose
Unless,
to try it, I would
unless it's
suggest
the-
you get a couple of extra jars.
unless it's the same place. There's a place in Fredericksburg called the Pine.
Oh.
This is Brenda's whole thing because Brenda's the one who freaks out when we go there because of this. So I'm not surprised. Kind of surprised she hasn't just already jumped on this.
It's a Fredericksburg Pie Company. They make fresh homemade pies every day. In this little house.
Little house.
They're just off of Main Street though.
And you have to, if you want pie, you have to get there
You have to get there early because they sell out
within
and
a
then
certain amount of time. They're
the
gone.
shop closes.
And
Yeah.
then they're closed. Oh my God, their pies
I
are
think
so
I know
amazing.
what shop he's talking about though, because we've been to Fredericksburg so many times. Might just have to look for it. Corey wants to know if we've ever considered pulling a diesel truck behind our motor home.
We are.
A few people doing that.
We are.
Actually, Corey, our Jeep is a diesel Jeep. So technically we are, yeah.
Our Jeep Grand Cherokee is an eco diesel. We love that sucker. We get on average on the highway and stuff, we got an average 26 to 28 miles per gallon with that diesel. And we have more torque power than the V8 version of the Jeep. It's really nice. We love it.
Tony's checking in from Enid, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sleeping down the rain, where the wavy reed can still swell sweet. I'll stop.
Remember that from high school?
Yeah. right along with the Wells Fargo wagons coming down the street. You know.
John says, not trying to get personal about your expenses out on the road and living your lifestyle, but can you give me a dollar range for what it might cost per year to travel as you do?
See, we get that question a lot, and there are some bloggers that actually list their spreadsheets and stuff online for everything. We can't truthfully answer that because, and nobody can truly answer that, because how we travel and where we like to stay and how often we like to move the coach, etc., plays a part in the costs and expenses. Even insurance plays a part in that, because you have to make sure you have the right insurance for your coach, and that plays a part dollar-wise into your monthly expenses. So you can look up general information, but you really can't go by that until you get on the road and see how you want to live. Because if we stay at a place for a month, it's much cheaper, sometimes 30% cheaper to stay at that place for a month versus staying at that place for a week, because you get discounts the longer you stay, usually, most of the time. So it all depends on how you're going to travel. If I was to say to you, when we first went full-time, our taxes in upstate New York on the house our property taxes in upstate New York on the house that we owned, which was only appraised at $300,000, our property taxes were $12,000 a year on an appraisal of $300,000. That's a lot of freaking money. So that's one of the reasons we got out of New York. But with that said, our first year on the road, actually our second, we started calculating it. Our second year on the road, Brenda kept track of our park fees, our diesel fuel, our maintenance on the coach, like oil changes and what have you.
And insurance.
And insurance. Those are the four things that you would have that you would not, that you would have different over and above your normal daily use. Meaning, what I mean by that is your health insurance, your food, your clothing, stuff like that you would have to have anyways when you live somewhere. So, calculating just the fuel cost, the maintenance, the insurance, and the park fees, it cost us $11,860 to live on the road that year. Less than our taxes.
We were traveling quite a bit that year.
We were traveling quite a bit. So
we weren't parked for months at a time. You know, we were traveling.
Yeah. So that's 11,000.
So we lived a whole year on the road for less than what our property taxes were costing us in New York.
Yep. So, but that's not going to be the same for everyone. It's not even going to come close. We're driving a diesel pusher. Are you going to drive a gas? We run our coach at 70 miles an hour. Are you going to run yours only at 55 miles an hour? All of these things play a factor in how much it costs you to live on the road.
I know the few RVers that I have seen them put their budgets up and, you know, their expenses, a lot of them, I'd say most of them, are dry camping a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So that's a lot less too, because you don't have the park fees and stuff. You just have
diesel fuel fees for your generator.
But, you know, they might have invested in solar, so they may not have as much. So their costs are going to be a lot less. So I know I've seen that, and I've made a comment on that, like, you know, they're living on the road, you know, out in the middle of the desert, dry camping, but we only do that maybe a couple weeks a year in Quartzsite, and that's about it. So everybody lives differently.
Yep. So not sure that helps you, but to us that's the true answer. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the true answer of nobody can really give you the answer, because it all is based on you. Left lane closed, half mile.
Yeah, I'm seeing lots of flashing lights.
Yep, they're working up there on the bridge or something. So it's all based on you and your living experience. you can get general ideas and stuff, but my fear in that is you might be looking at somebody's online information and they do dry camp a lot, and it's not reflective at all. It could be $10,000 difference in how you live versus they live.
Yeah.
So you got to be real careful when you're considering that. But that was a very, very good question.
And that question comes up a lot on Facebook and everything, and it's just, I try not to answer. Excuse me, I try not to answer when people ask those questions, because it just varies so much.
And we learned.
And I don't want to give people false hope or think, oh my God, I can't afford this.
Right. And also we learned our lesson on that, because in the earlier days, or back a few years back, whatever, Brenda would answer that question on the road of, hey, this is what it cost us, and then we would have people that just, oh, where are you guys staying? That, either we're paying too much or we're not, or we're paying too little. You get them both ways, and it's like, oh, it would never cost us that much to live on the road.
Well, everybody's
okay.
different.
So we're like, yeah, okay. So we're not going to answer that question anymore, other than to give the heads up.
So it's are you spending a month in Key West, or are you spending a month in upstate New York?
Or a month in the desert.
Or a month in the desert dry camping. I mean, it's gonna vary greatly depending on how you want to live.
So anyways.
And where you want to live.
So that was a good question. We answered it. We wanted to get into a little bit more detail and talk about it. That was because we haven't actually had that question on camera before.
No, not on camera.
So on live drive. So it was a very good question to have asked, and we hope a lot of people understand our point of view on that. And good. There you go.
Yeah, there's been a few people who have asked us to do blog posts or something on that, and as David says, it just varies too much. So Anita's checking in. She said, here with y'all eating brown cinnamon Pop-Tarts in honor of your last live drive of the week too, and another cup of coffee to boot.
That's funny.
Marcelo says, USA and Argentina are large countries. You both certainly could love our landscapes driving from our city and Patagonian mountains. I bet Argentina is very beautiful. I have no doubt. When we started this adventure, we just decided we haven't seen our own country, so that's why we're exploring our own country.
It's amazing what's out here.
We do want to travel more.
We do want to go overseas someday.
Yeah, once our two boys, are no longer with us.
Our two furry boys. During our talk we gave about expenses on the road and what have you, didn't cut out at all, because I thought that was a pretty good topic to cover.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, we're in the middle of nowhere out here. The cell phone signal can come in and out. Like right now, I'm getting a message that it's slow signal. It's slow right now. So, hey, Bren, will you go into, open up another tab?
Yeah.
Go into 192.168.1.
Do you want to say that without me?
Yeah, it's a public IP.
Okay, 192.
.168.1.50.
Micro 7?
Yep. Is it already logged in?
No.
Well, it should be logged in. I see the tabs. Yeah, you're logged in. It should get a window. Click on Setup, the button on the right.
I didn't realize that was a login window.
No, it's already logged in. And then on the second tab, I think it's Video.
Camera?
Yeah.
There's video.
Click on Video. And then you're going to, somewhere down there, it's set for 125.
125 what? What am I looking at? Bit rate?
Yes.
Secondary stream bit rate?
Yes, 125. Change it to 75. And then at the bottom, or wherever you do it, apply that. We're going to slow down the data bit rate
for the dash
on the dash camera, which will make the image worse on the dash cam, but hopefully give us more data for this transmission. So that's what we're currently signals and stuff.
Okay, because I wanted to make sure I did the right one.
No, you're good.
Okay. Do I need to log out or just close?
You can just close the tab.
Okay. All right. Tada's just tuning in. How was our stay in the Dusty Park last evening?
Today was fine.
Uneventful. It was fine.
Got in, opened
It always fills up every night.
Yeah,
it's a good overnight.
It's a good overnight on 910. Yeah.
Corey says, that's awesome. I need one of those. A diesel Jeep, that's really cool. My mom has a Ram 2500 diesel and she gets 22 miles per gallon on the highway.
Well, now it seems like the wind has shifted. Now it's hitting us from the south. Because I'm getting some side forces now.
Oh, so now people are
That's going to kill our gas mileage again.
Now people are asking us movie quotes. Here's a movie quote from Doug.
I don't think we want to get into that.
No.
People asking us movie quotes.
I don't know that movie anyway. Sounds like a Western. John says, thank you for sharing your comments about the cost. He's just trying to get an understanding of what it might cost to travel 6 months out of the year.
See, that's also different though, John, because you're not full-timing, which your insurance prices are different.
Yeah. Yeah, because full-timers insurance is more like homeowners insurance. It covers a lot more personal items and things. When you are only part-timing, you don't have certain things on your insurance that you would normally have for full-timers.
And you also have to be careful of where you live, because you may not be able to get full-timers insurance in the state you live in.
Yeah, Ben says there's many ways to make living and traveling fit your own budget, which is, yeah. Hale says, good morning. Do you have any RV memberships such as Thousand Trails or Coast to Coast? The only thing we're Escapees members because we write for them.
Well, we don't write for them. They pick up our blog posts.
They pick up our blog posts, yes.
They asked if they can use our stuff, and we said yes.
Yes. So we have their membership, and we have a Good Sam membership because we have the Pilot Flying J fuel card, and you have to have the Good Sam membership because they're tied together. Good Sam and Pilot Flying J joined forces to give you discounts on fuels and everything. We do not have Thousand Trails or Coast to Coast or anything like that. We looked into it when we first started RVing, and we just weren't in the areas. At that time, we weren't going to the areas or looking at the areas of where these places were, and we still have yet to come into any areas. I think there was a Thousand Trails park around the Sedona, Arizona area.
I only recall, if any, one.
Yeah.
Not that there's not many more, don't get us wrong. It's just that the parks we look to stay at,
we just haven't been around any areas.
Yeah.
Jenny says, yes, these live streams are addicting. Corey says, I agree, Jenny.
It's amazing. What amazes me about the live streams is the people from all around the world that's watching it.
I was just going to say, Stefan is just checking in from South Africa.
Well, there you go. Exactly. Perfect point.
Good morning or good evening or whatever it is there, Stefan.
Well, that's my perfect point.
Yeah.
That amazes me that we have people from all across the world watching this. How do we make money from this? We need a sponsor. We can put a sponsor logo right here.
We've already determined that Kellogg's needs to sponsor us with our Pop-Tarts.
That's right. That's right.
Somebody already mentioned that too.
Uh-oh. I'm wearing my Simple Chuck shirt. I just realized Simple Chuck is a product that I use that makes a water deanizer. Oh, damn it. I just gave him a free plug. See? Could have made money on that.
Damn it.
Damn it. We don't make money, guys, just so you're aware. We really don't make money on our blog postings or our videos. Yeah, there's ads on the videos that pop up, but we're talking maybe $100 a month out of that. We don't consider ourselves YouTube big people that have all these followers. All of our followers are organic. We never marketed ourselves. It's organic. People mention us or they just stumble across us. Our website, everything we put on our website, we've bought. And if we liked it and use it, then we make a video or something. And because we figured if we like it, somebody else might like it.
Well, and there are some things that we buy that we don't like, so we don't blog about it. I mean,
if we don't like it, why blog about it?
Yeah, why blog about it?
And we don't want to be beholden to any company.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to feel obligated to give them a good review because they sent us a product.
Richard says, good morning to both of you. I do envy you guys here in, I'm probably not going to pronounce this right, Masouche, Quebec. Temperature is 14 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Sorry, Richard. Hopefully you'll warm up soon. Somebody wants to know, when choosing the Tiffin coach, did you consider crash worthiness?
No.
No.
You don't consider crash worthiness in these coaches. If you crash, you're in pretty bad shape as it is for the most part. These aren't rated like cars. These are not. None of these have to go through crash tests or anything like that. There's no airbags. There's, you know, it's not the same as a car would be rated. The only thing you really got going for you, if you get, you know, if somebody hits you or you hit somebody, is you got a solid steel frame that's not going to have much give to it. But there's no crumple zones or anything like that. Worst case scenario that you can have in a motor coach is a fire. And then worst case is a blowout, a front blowout and a rollover. If either of those occur, your RV is a total loss at that point. Can't imagine a rollover in an RV because everything, the cabinets would open, everything would fly.
Yeah.
Because the cabinets aren't locked down, they're not locked shut. They can open on a, you know, you pull them, they just open. On a rollover, that force, everything's coming out of every cabinet.
Paul wants to know, how far is the bot lot from Cooperstown, New York? We'll be there for 10 days playing 12U baseball. Because Cooperstown is where the Baseball Hall of Fame is. I'm guessing an hour and a half. We're Southwoods RV Resort, where our bot lot is in Byron, New York. Cooperstown is in the Finger Lakes. This is probably good. Well, it's probably 2 hours, I'd say. It's a good distance.
For those of you who don't know what the bot lot is,
our last name is Bot.
Our last name is Bot, B-O-T-T, and we spell lot, L-O-T-T, to match it, and so it's bot-lot, and it was named that by the people at Southwoods RV Resort, which is where our seasonal site is located, up in Byron, New York, which is upstate New York by Rochester, between Buffalo and Rochester. So it was the lot, quote unquote lot, was actually built for us so we would come back and stay there. Because I put the Wi-Fi in the system. I put the Wi-Fi, they had really bad Wi-Fi, really bad.
As typical around the country.
Yeah, and I offered to fix that for free. And they didn't, at first they weren't sure how to take that, because a few weeks earlier he had a guy who came in who wanted $14,000 just to spec out the park. Not for parts or anything, but just to map out the park of what equipment should be used and where. I walked in, ripped out their entire old system, which was useless. It took me about a month and a half, designed and put in a new commercial grade system. They didn't know what to make of that. I didn't want any money for doing it, I just wanted the help. And 2 days before we left, they took us to a back corner of the RV park all the way in the back, because quite literally, other than something like this, we're private people. Other than if we're throwing a party or something. We're pretty private. We keep to ourselves.
It's kind of funny if you look at our
Our videos.
online videos and things, and
We are pretty private for the most part. We stick to ourselves. But anyways, they brought us all the way to the back section of the park where there was nothing back there, but where the row of RVs ended, and it was a cul-de-sac to turn around and come back. And they said, "What do you think of this?" And I'm like, "What?" So I pull out my cell phone and I look and I go, "We got Wi-Fi back here. What's the problem?" And they said, "No, you don't understand. We would like to build you a campsite right here so you'll come back to us every year." Because we were just amazed that somebody would just do something that you did and not ask anything for it. And seeing that we were from Rochester and they knew that, we couldn't say no. I mean, they built it to our specifications. They actually knocked down woods and everything, tucked us away in a corner.
we did keep some trees.
We kept the trees. Yeah,
Yeah.
we kept some trees. They didn't knock it all down, just enough to get us in. But so the park people in the park named it the Bot Lot, because at first, when they first cleared it, the weather was so rainy they couldn't do anything to prep the land.
Mud.
It became mud, so they couldn't work on it for a couple months, and so it was just a big open lot. And so the people in the park called it, "Oh, that's the Bot Lot," and so we named it the Bot Lot.
Okay,
Anyways, Southwoods RV Resort, Byron, New York. Look them up.
we have Judy watching from Vermont. She loves our videos. Joe says, checked out your product reviews on your website. How come nothing on Mr. Dave's coffee machine? Would love to see a review or a video on that.
Because the coffee machine's not inexpensive. Well, then again, either is the pressure washer. The coffee machine is a super automatic coffee machine. It's a Jura Micro 9, and they're on the expensive side. That's why it's not something a typical RVer would use. When I bought it, it was $1,100.
A lot of people use the Keurig machine.
Yeah, a lot of people use Keurig machines, but that machine was $1,100 when I bought it. You can now buy them refurbished for, I've heard, prices of $700 on up, refurbished, manufactured refurbished. But understand the fact, Brenda doesn't drink coffee. I'm the only one that drinks coffee. So yeah, I bought this really expensive machine to make coffee because I love fresh coffee. And a super automatic machine, what it does is you put the beans in it and you put water in a reservoir. And when you want a cup of coffee, you push a button, it grinds the beans fresh, presses them into a puck just like they would at a coffee house. And then the hot water is pumped directly through the grinds at a certain temperature and under a certain pressure, pumps it through the grinds and gives you that single cup of coffee. And after it does that, it throws the grinds away into a hopper bin. When the hopper bin is full, it tells you, and you just take it out and dump the hopper bin. But anyways, that's why it's not cheap. And that's probably why I never did a video on it, because it's not something every RVer would do. And quite literally, I didn't want people to say, well, since it's an expensive machine and I'm the only one who uses it, people will then think we're, I don't know, I get the thought that people will think that we're snobby, maybe, I don't know. Have you ever met us in person, or, well, you've seen our videos, we are like we are in the videos. You're seeing us like we are right now. So this is it. Walmart, or this was a free t-shirt from Simple Chuck. Brenda's wearing a Walmart or Target shirt.
Target.
I mean,
Target. Yeah, I love Target. David Barb says, David, what about the fire starter product?
oh, that one, and I did, yes, you're correct. That one was sent to me, and that I freely admitted online. And I also freely admitted online that if it did not work, I was still going to do the video. I wasn't going to take the product and not do the video. And I told them that because they kept after us for quite a while. We got 5 or 6 emails saying, come on, guys. And so I didn't want to buy it because I, at the time, didn't have use for it. It's an electric fire starter is what we're referring to, and there's a video on it. And So I said, fine, send it to me, but with the stipulation that if I use it and it doesn't work, it's going to be shown that way.
And if I recall correctly, we were at the bot lot at Southwoods.
Yep.
And we were broadcasting live while I was filming you, so
Yeah.
people could see how we...
Yeah, we broadcasted it live in 360 degree while we were recording it for a regular blog post. So we showed a behind the scenes 360 shot of that recording of that product. So we couldn't hide anything if we wanted to in that particular case. It was all live.
Yeah.
But the product did not work very well as a log fire starter, which you see in the video. And that is, I believe, truly believe, because the wood was not dry enough. It did, however, work great for starting my Komodo grill, my Komodo Joe, which is a ceramic grill, kind of like a green egg. Well, it's a green egg
It's a competitor to the green egg, yeah.
And to this day, I still use that product to start my grill.
Yeah, but we have not used it to start a campfire.
Correct, we have not. So anyways, you are correct. That is a product I did get. However, I freely admitted that right at the start of the video.
Scott is watching from El Cajon, California. Oh, we got somebody watching us for the first time. A Godly Man 2002, that's his handle.
Boy, aren't you glad you joined us? Isn't this exciting?
Richard says, after 4 years on the road, how many miles does your coach have thus far?
Every time we travel, we get that question. Every single time.
Well, it changes every time.
Well, that's true. Every mile we go, it changes. As of right now, 26,754.
He says, David, you're kind of a Robin Hood of the RV world.
I am? I don't give things to people. I don't rob from the rich and give things away to people.
No, I think he means because you're doing the Wi-Fi in these parks for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that the parks do is they buy the parts.
Yes.
And we buy them off of Amazon, you know.
And we only do it for mom and pop places that really could use our help.
Yeah. Now, Well, and I was going to say, in that case, the Jellystone in Burleson, Texas.
It's a mom and pop, but
it's a franchise.
Corporate.
It's a big park, but
they're individually owned.
It's a mom and pop place in the sense that it's just our friends that own it.
Yeah, so we know the owners of that park, and
it's not a corporation.
It's not a corporate. It is a husband and wife that owns that, and
they're friends of ours,
and they said, Dave, we need your help. So I went out there and designed a Wi-Fi system for that park. That Wi-Fi system currently has 122 access points in it. We have full fiber coming into the park. I got fiber right now. We're going back there a week from today. We'll be going back to Burleson, Texas.
So join us live.
So join us live because they expanded the RV park, and hence I have to expand the Wi-Fi system.
They're still in the process of expanding.
Yes.
It's a big expansion.
So I have to expand the Wi-Fi system in the park to handle that. And the good news is, I got to do it the correct way, like I wanted to. They were able to run fiber to the back part of the park for me.
Yeah.
So I got fiber from where it comes into the main office, coming in for the internet, AT&T fiber coming in, and that fiber goes into a switch, and then that switch comes fiber out to the new section of the park, and then from there I go to the access points off the fiber. So I'm real excited about that expansion because it works very, very well. It was good, nicely thought out, if I do say so myself.
So David Lawrence wants to know, how many months a year do we spend at the bot lot? As of right now, we usually go back there in April. The park is actually open May 1st through the end of October. But David being David, he helps the RV park owner open up, and because in the wintertime, you know, when they close the park, they have to drain all the water lines and everything, being that far north. So when the spring comes and everything thaws, we gotta bleed the water lines and get water back in there and open up the park, trim trees and
I just
stuff.
help them do it.
Yeah.
I got to learn how to drive a backhoe. I got to learn how to drive a bulldozer.
Dump
I got to
truck.
learn how to drive a dump truck.
Well, and use them, not just drive them.
Yeah, and use them. Yeah. So these are things. I come from an electronics background, computers and audio video. That's my forte. So manual physical labor, if you will, is not something I did much of.
Oh, the high lift.
Oh, the high lift.
That you learned.
That I learned the first thing, yeah, because of the
That's
Wi-Fi.
how you put your Wi-Fi antennas in.
So they had a high lift. I got to learn to use the high lift. That's the first thing I learned because I had to put the access points in. And
So
then,
we're usually there in April.
yeah, and we
sometime.
really like those guys. We help out, and then now I'm
Yeah.
lucky enough. I have a band that I get to play gigs with once in a while. The band is called Lake Effect. It's just a bunch of older guys who more or less go and play for what they call beer money.
Yeah, because they all have day jobs.
They all have day jobs, then they just do it for fun and beer money, and they love music. And I
Which is great.
kind of just, do you mind? And they're like, oh, sure. Are we going to say no? You hired just. I think they were.
Everybody had a fun time.
It was a good time.
Yes.
And then they asked me to play with them more. So, and great, love it.
So
Anyways,
we are there. We haven't left until like mid-October.
But-
Summertime with our family and everything.
but we do.
Since we're gone most of the time in the winter.
But we do come and go from there too.
Yes.
So if we want to, we might leave for 2 weeks and go to Vermont or go to Maine or something like that.
Yeah.
But the best part is when we come back, our site's always sitting there waiting for us.
Hello from Western. Yep. This is like the bot lot, we're always trying to improve it a little bit. Last spring we hung up outdoor string lights and things like that. We dyed our concrete pad. Marcelo says, so your coffee machine is an automatic espresso then?
It does coffee, it does cappuccino, it does espresso,
It does hot water for hot
it does
chocolate.
hot water for tea or hot chocolate. Yep, does it all. Even the cappuccino, I can hook up a milk container to it, and it will steam the milk when it comes through, and put a froth on the top.
Latata says, David, it's okay to be a coffee snob.
Thanks.
We did start out in our tour master. We did start out with a Keurig,
Yes.
but you really missed the
I could not
super
stand
automatic we had at home.
it. Yeah, we had a super automatic at home. I always had one for
I hear Whisper playing with his rat.
years and years. And
He's got a toy
when we
rat.
went full time on the road, I needed coffee, so I don't use coffee pots. Hated that. I just don't like that. And so he had a Keurig machine. So when Jura came out with the micro knot, she was more than happy to let me buy it.
Well, because I know we're both happier when he has his coffee, but he uses it every day. It's not like he's spending that money on something he's going to use once in a great while. It's
I don't
it's
buy
an
cheap
everyday
coffee
thing.
though.
Yeah,
I also don't buy cheap coffee.
but you use it and drink it.
I get this. I don't.
It's a little different
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you-
I buy good coffee, and actually Canadian coffee. It's
Kicking horse.
Kicking Horse Coffee Company. And anyways, the funny thing is, so I gave my dad my old super automatic machine, and he goes,
When we sold.
as you can see, I was right. We are going to drop in and out going through these passes, so please bear with us. Stay tuned. Technical difficulties. We'll lose it in here. I can't wait till we get through these mountain passes, because then it's downhill.
It's all downhill from here, dear.
Honey, it has been for a while now. I'm glad we're offline right now. Nobody heard that.
Are you sure about that?
No. By the way, those wondering about a 450 versus 600 engine, we're going up a pretty good incline right now, probably about 3 degrees. and I'm traveling along. I have it locked in at 65, and I'm just traveling 65 with no issue whatsoever. So,
Are we still online?
yeah, I think we're online.
Ben says, thanks for sharing about your espresso machine. Looking to purchase the Breville, but the cost and space it takes up on the counter. Yeah, that's why the
Juro Micro 9.
The Juro Micro 9 was good because it's like
Engine brake now on. We're slow internet connection. We warned you this would happen. We warned you. Radio signals do not go through Earth very well. I don't know if you can even hear us. My engine brake is now on because we're starting to go downhill some.
Jim Brooks says his father-in-law, who is 83 years old once and a Korean War vet, wanted to say hi.
Hello, thank you for your service.
Hello.
Korea, wow. Thank you very much for your service, sir. Hope that transmitted out. That would suck if I said that and it didn't go out.
Hale says, purchased and set up the Nano Station per your instructions for a secure network using Park's free internet in our motorhome, and I've got to say it has worked perfectly. Very impressed. Thank you.
You're welcome. A lot of people have put that together. Yeah, it's attempting to reconnect. Yeah, so the towers are, I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere right now, so that we're going to drop, we're going to come in and go out, come in and go out. Because I can't even spot a tower.
In the area. I'm a little familiar with the area as we like visiting the Mooney factory in Kerrville. Yeah, Tim, we love Fredericksburg. We try and get there at least once a year. We stay at the Quiet Creek RV Resort, which is just on the west side of town. Yes.
Yes.
It's right on the edge of town. It's not.
It's a relatively new park, a few years old.
A few years old, yeah. Nice big pull-throughs, though. I mean, they've got to be 80 feet long or more. Easy park to get in and out.
Well, we hope we're broadcasting. For those of you who don't know what you're watching right now, I'm David.
Oh, sorry. And I'm Brenda. I was reading comments.
And we're from OutsideOurBubble.com. You're currently traveling live if you're traveling on the day we're actually traveling. If not,
Tuesday, January 30th at 11:19 a.m. Central Time.
And if not, then you're watching a rebroadcast of a show.
You're watching us in Memorex.
In Memorex. Yeah, is it live or is it Memorex?
Oh, wow.
That commercial, man.
Just made me feel old, didn't it?
Yeah. So in any case, you're traveling along with us in a 2014 Tiffin Allegro Bus, model 45LP. We are 42,000 pounds loaded as we are now for travel, pulling a Jeep Grand Cherokee behind us. The coach is 45 feet long. The Jeep Grand Cherokee being towed behind us makes us a total of 64 feet long. Our average miles per gallon is 7.5, but over lately going through the mountain ranges and having wind in our face the last few days, we have not been doing very well on that. In fact, right now we're only averaging, since we started this trip, this leg of the trip, we're only averaging 6.6 miles to the gallon. We are going through quite a number of hill climbs, however. Sooner or later we're going to start going downhill, I hope. Because I'm watching the fuel gauge drop.
Person's handle.
Oh, okay. I thought we'll use their interface. GUI.
Okay.
It's not like that darn internet crap that'll never catch on, like LOL and stuff. It's not like that at all. This stuff will live in history. That LOL stuff and stuff, that'll never catch on. It's all a fad.
Bruce says, Dave, you were talking about a cabinet fan for your video cabinet. What was the brand of fan and where did you get it?
Amazon. We get most stuff from Amazon, and I don't remember the name of the brand. All I did is I typed into Amazon electronic cooling fan and found one that I can mount, cut the hole out and mount a 3-inch muffin fan in, and it had a speed controller on it. So I can go off, low, medium, and high. And it's a USB, it plugs in via USB for power. We're coming up to another mountain pass through up here, guys, so where we're gonna have big mounds of earth cut through the mountain on the left and the right of us, which means our signal will probably drop again, because as I have said in the past, radio signals do not travel very well through Earth. In fact, they don't travel through Earth much at all. They can, just not very well.
Keith wants to know if we've ever RV'd in the Texas Rio Grande Valley area. Kind of, sort of, but not really. We tried last winter. We actually we went down to Big Bend National Park, and we had planned to go down into that tip of Texas, down into the Rio Grande Valley, but instead we made other arrangements and we came up to Fredericksburg. So we will get down there at some point, but the closest we got was Big Bend National Park.
Miles off of that is 117.
John wants to
so
know
117 miles to get to the fuel. Just under a quarter of a tank. We should make it.
David's doing calculations for his fuel.
Well, I forgot about the mountain passes.
Oh, we'll see. If not, we're calling CoachNet.
No, we still have that one saving grace stop 60, that saves us 60 miles. Right now, we're doing a really big hill climb right now. This is probably about a 5-degree grade. I'm down to 59 miles per hour.
Jim says his father-in-law heard it. We did not cut out the Korean War vet.
Oh, yes, yes.
And Corey says, "Oh, you're not offline. We heard that. So glad you guys can joke like that. At least I find it pretty funny."
We are climbing this hill. Come on, come on. We're now down to 57 miles an hour for those playing the speed game. We're climbing a really good hill right now, Bill.
Yeah, it is.
Really, really, really. Once we crest this, I'm hoping it's all downhill from here. And we don't have to climb more.
There's a cell tower.
Yeah, so hopefully our data is really good right now.
John says, okay, again, not to pry into your personal lives.
Oh, sure. I love how people start that. Not to pry, but...
But, did you find that your relationship improved after you sold your home and hit the road?
No.
I think for us, even in our house, we were always in the same room and always together, so it really was no different for us.
That's how we kind of knew that we wouldn't have a problem doing this.
Yeah.
Because we were always together as it is. I mean, literally always together. We used to have, in the house, we had offices that were in 2 different rooms. Well, we ended up...
merging them.
The offices came one office, and so we were together in the one office. It was a 4,200 square foot house. We ended up shutting down the whole top 2nd floor of the house because we didn't need it because we were always together. And then we ended up moving down to the kitchen table. So to us was never an issue. And as far as have we improved our relationship, yeah, we've gone through a number of things that have made us stronger. Everything that you do makes you stronger, hopefully, as a couple.
Yeah,
we've gone through some illnesses and major surgeries.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, doing it on the road, it adds a whole different level of
There's a parking area in 1 mile. You need to pull over.
No, I'm good. Having to do surgeries or illnesses on the road, it adds a whole new dynamic because you don't have...
Recuperating in an RV, yeah.
And you don't have that support structure of family that you may have around you normally.
If you're on the road and not like at our bot lot. Yeah. Is that a giant cell tower in front of us?
I don't know if that's a cell tower or something else, but the one we passed back there was a cell tower. So we should still be transmitting fine. If you're receiving fine, we're doing okay.
I seem to be. Scott wants to know, what's your thoughts on buying a lot? Been contemplating about it for Papa's retirement. Found a great place with everything he wants and loads of restaurants around.
Now, when you say buying a lot, we're guessing you're referring to
An RV
an RV lot and like an RV resort, outdoor RV resort or something like that.
For us,
If that's the case, if it's like an
Yeah.
outdoor resort or, one of those places.
they do have their pluses and minuses.
To us, mostly minuses.
To us, it's not, I wouldn't say it's
That's-
not feasible.
doesn't
for
make
us, but
financial sense.
It doesn't make sense to us for our situation, because we travel a lot, and then like our spot lot at Southwoods, we lease that year to year. We don't own it.
Release it.
So that's not something that we bought per se, but it is our lot. We have a shed on there and a cement pad and everything that we
Well, everything
do improvements.
we designed to put in.
Yeah.
So, outdoor resorts and stuff, they have a homeowners association and rules you got to follow, things like that. So you got to be, you can't do you might not be able to do something you want to do to your lot for one. Understanding I have no idea the type of place you're referring to, so I'm only guessing. And not to mention the pricing that the people want for the lots when they're selling them, to us doesn't make any sense, because not only do you buy the lot, I'm just going to use a number, $100,000 for the lot. Well, then you still have monthly maintenance fees of $300+.
Yeah.
Even if you're not there, you're paying the monthly maintenance fee. And
So it's like a
You
whole
can-
nother mortgage.
yeah, so if you wanna, and you can always go there. There's always sites usually available to go there, so you can rent. If you want to go there and stay a month, you can probably rent a site there for a month, and it will cost you, a few thousand maybe, depending on the park. But to us, it doesn't make
You
sense
can
spending the money first of all,
Yeah.
and then having to pay monthly fees, maintenance fees and resort fees and stuff like that for stuff we would never use. Like, we don't use the pools, we don't use a gym, we don't use
Yeah.
any of that stuff. Can't you tell? Look at us. Anyways, that's our opinion. We know people who own lots, don't get us wrong. And they like them, and they bought them, and that's wonderful.
Everybody's situation is different, though.
Right.
And just like every floor plan is different for everybody,
Yeah.
it's
So yeah, it all comes down to the person and what they want to do and how they want to live. And that's great. To us, we looked at it. We actually looked at 3 different places, I believe, over the time we've considered. And then we always came back to the same thing. Well, how often are we going to be here? And how much is it, when we do want to be here, how much does it cost us to rent a spot?
yeah.
And it always came down to the same thing. The dollars didn't make sense to us based on how often we would be there.
Augusto is checking in from Brazil, and he says, I don't miss one live drive.
Another person who's a sucker. I mean, who has nothing to do. I mean, who has no life. I mean, only kidding. We appreciate you guys out there.
RV Legal Eagles and Paws says, hey guys, just to let you know, these live video trips where we can ask you questions is a brilliant idea and is extremely helpful in learning about RVing. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
And in the next one, David says, can you talk briefly about how you use the engine brake? So that's a good one. Because I think we got into that yesterday, but not today.
Yeah, go watch
yet.
yesterday's video. You just got to find it. Just kind of, play it, watch the whole thing. Sooner or later, we'll be talking about the engine brake. Whoa! That was a hard hat helmet that just flew off his truck. That was a close one. That was a green hard hat helmet, came off the back of his truck. Swerved around that. Yay, didn't hit it.
That was a semi,
Flatbed semi.
flatbed semi that just passed us and merged in front of us, which was fine. He wasn't doing anything wrong. But the wind, something just
His hard
got his
hat
hard hat
flew
and
off the truck.
flew off the truck.
That would have caused a chip or two. Any case,
Yeah.
engine brake.
Engine brake.
Let's talk about the engine brake for a short time here. Engine brakes are wonderful things. Jake brakes are annoying things.
There is a difference.
There's a difference. There's engine brakes and there's Jake brakes. They both essentially, the whole purpose is to slow the vehicle down. Jake brakes are ones that actually blow by the cylinders. So instead of the engine compressing the fuel and exploding back, it actually opens up the cylinder so it can't do compression, and all you hear is because that's all blow by going on.
Yeah, you've all heard those semis do that out there.
And they're very, very loud, and that's all blow by that is happening. Where the explosion.
And we were offline.
Okay, now it says the stream is resumed. Yeah, this is a longer conversation, engine brakes, and we're not in the best area for that, so I don't know where I just left off on the engine brake. Now we got a slow internet warning. So we're just going to wait until we get through these mountain passes further up, and we'll have to get back to that because talking about an engine brake takes time. And we got we seem to have poor performance right now on the internet. Hey, we're only as good as the data we can receive and send. And we're doing everything possible to be able to do that. We're using WeBoost 4GX RV system, which is a high gain antenna on the roof, comes down into this coach, goes into a booster system, comes out of the booster system into an inside repeating antenna, and then you just reverse the path of that to transmit out, boosted energy going out. So we're doing the best we can on the transmission, but we still, hey, if you get too far away from a cell phone tower, you can't boost what you can't, you can't boost nothing. Nothing equals nothing. So I'm going to wait and see what happens up here.
George says, if I were to get a 34-foot Class A motorhome with a tow car, are not able to stay at national parks with a 35-foot length limit simply by detaching the car and parking it elsewhere? Yeah, if they've got a 35-foot length limit and you're 34 feet, you'll fit just fine.
Yeah, you can park the car anywhere.
And you can park the car anywhere, yeah. Us with our 45-foot motorhome and our Jeep, we've gone to and parked at national parks and state parks. We just left Picacho Peak State Park a couple days ago in Arizona. All depends on the park and what their limits are, but if they say 35-foot limit and you have a 34-foot motorhome, then
you should be
good.
Fine.
Yeah.
We did a whole video on, you can look it up on our YouTube channel, is a 40 plus motor coach too big?
Yeah.
And we did a whole talk on that.
Yeah. One of the big things is a lot of people are like, well, you know, I like going to national parks and state parks and stuff, but I also like having a bigger rig. And they're afraid that they have to go smaller in order to get into those parks. And some of them, yes. Some of them you won't be parked. That's like usually right outside the door, close by.
40 plus, well, at this point. The engine brake, getting back to that really quick. The engine brake is a device to slow you down as needed without having to use your main brakes if you don't have to, because they'll wear out.
Going downhill too, especially.
Yeah, because if you're going and you're burning your brakes, you should technically. And so when you're going downhill, you need to be able to slow down, because going downhill, obviously you would pick up speed. So what you do is you engage your engine, the power from the engine and the transmission. So the more force, depending on the grade. You have to use our brake, we use it much less, so we don't heat up the brakes, heat up the pads, such as getting off at a rest stop, because they're usually short entrances. So when we know we're coming up to a rest break, the engine gauge will engage at that time and help on our normal brakes.
Braking up.
And last but not least, we'll also use those in suburban areas or driving through towns, because again, you're using your brake a lot in a town, so you're applying them on and off often. So if you leave your engine brake on, it'll slow you down. So in any case, always, in my opinion, turn off your engine brake. Like on the expressway right now, my engine brake is off. And the reason it's off is because if I have to touch my brake for whatever reason, somebody cuts in front of me, whatever, or I'm catching up to somebody who's going slower than I am, and I touch my brake, the result of touching the brake with your engine brake on, just because you want to slow down and start to coast, will engage your engine brake, thus slowing you down very quickly when you don't want to lose any of that momentum.
Yeah.
You really don't want to lose that momentum. So that's the function of the engine brake, and I hope that helped you out. I hope that transmitted well also. Let us know if it did, and let us know if you got that. It's a good topic. People don't often the use of the engine brake.
It says the new trend among 45-foot owners is at present to. No, I think it's all preference. Some people start out big and then they decide
to go cross country. We knew we wanted a larger coach.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be happy in a smaller vehicle. Not that we wouldn't be happy together. It just
we like living how we live.
Yeah, we like living how we live. We don't camp.
Yeah, I always say we don't camp. We have heated floors and a dishwasher, so
we don't camp.
We don't camp.
Our family's still funny though, because to this day they say, "So where are you camping now?" Or "What you do today?" It's just like,
yeah, they think we're on perpetual vacation.
Yeah, so they think we're always going to things and seeing things every day and stuff. We're not.
Even though we still work and everything.
We're not. This is where we live. It's like you guys at home. If you're not out of the house every day and going and seeing things every day and whatever. Even though we move to a new area, it doesn't mean we go out sightseeing everywhere every day. So, yeah.
Red Bear Alaska says, really breaking up, hardly getting info on engine brake. Maybe you could do video on it later? Or when we get into more of a town, you could talk about it again real quick.
Yeah. I knew going from going to Fredericksburg, we were going to have transmission problems because we literally go through a lot of open area.
Yeah.
So the cell phone towers don't do a lot.
Gordon wants to know, are there apps available that track signal strengths in real time that would allow one to see dead spots approaching?
No, not really, because radio signals vary from temperature to rain to wind. Radios can vary greatly. So I don't know of any app that'll tell you and watch you in real time. Not that one doesn't exist. I just don't know of one. But you have to be knowledgeable enough to take into account that is not set in stone. That will change. It also will change based on the number of people using the cell tower at a current time, because that will also greatly affect your bandwidth.
Just so you know, we are 38 miles from that Road Ranger truck stop. Remember,
38 miles to the Road Ranger, and then after that was 60 miles, and then from Road Ranger to there is 60 miles, I believe you said.
Yeah, it was like 55.
We should be fine.
So yeah, 38 miles to that.
Let's see, according to our Mr. Computer on the dashboard, we should still have 43 gallons to that before we're empty.
Or
we should have our average is 6.6 miles to the gallon since we originally last fueled up. We've gone through 106 gallons of fuel. We should be 43.6 gallons to empty.
How many gallons to empty?
287 miles we can theoretically go before we're empty.
Okay, well that pilot is 92 miles from where we are right now.
So if I trust the computer,
and calculations
and
all that, yeah, 92 miles, and it says Ozona, Ozona, Texas.
Beep. Okay, so let me is it a Flying J or a Pilot? The one that's out there.
I believe it's a Pilot, but let me just double check.
You've been looking at it all morning and you
I know, it's a Pilot.
Okay, I'm gonna try to calculate a Pilot. So I can get the, is that 2342 North Main Street, Junction, Texas? 89 miles, yes, it must be.
Junction, Texas, yes.
Continue on I-10.
So 89 miles, take 89, let's just use a number, 89 divided by 6.
Yep, 89 miles. 89 divided by 6.
Yeah, if I just use 6 miles as a gallon, lower than what we're getting.
14.83.
14 gallons, almost 15 gallons of fuel to get there. And according to our computer, we have 43 gallons, so it's empty.
Okay.
So I'll go by that.
In theory.
We're fine. We're gonna go for it. Cool.
Okay, let me scroll back and see where I left off.
Now, also according to my contact at Tiffin, that the float gauge in there, obviously it can't go all the way to the bottom. It's going to be off the bottom so far.
Right.
According to him, when it reads empty, there's still like 10 gallons of fuel still in the tank. So even at 10 gallons, we are past the point where we won't be able to start our generator at this point. Because we're at the point where it should not allow us to start the generator.
Mike wants to know if we changed our dining chairs for something more comfortable. I think he means driving chairs. Because you can't see our dining chairs.
Yeah, we did. These are. We went to Villa, the manufacturer of the furniture here, and we had these chairs made for us. They're perforated. The seats in the back are all perforated. There's heaters in them and there's air blowers in them. So yeah, they're different. Tiffin may be using these now, because once we design them, or once we make something, they can sell them to somebody else. And so Tiffin may be using them because they did stitch the Tiffin logo in it for us.
Richard wants to know, does your cell booster help you in situations like this while streaming live while on the road?
Yes. That's the whole point of a cell booster.
Yeah.
Yes.
But as David says, you can't boost
what you can't get.
see.
Yeah, so as far as receiving, you're only as good as the gain of your antenna. The higher the gain of your antenna, the further away you can receive something, because the gain of the antenna is how much it can hear. If it's a bigger gain, you can hear further away, if you will, because there's more reception power. The transmitter also, but also in our case, because we're transmitting all this data, the transmission goes out much more stronger, because think of it this way, I got a little jetpack. It's got a little antenna in there, so only so much can that little antenna put out in power. So there's not a lot of power there. But if I have that antenna right next to my jetpack, right next to an inside antenna, it only has to talk to that. That inside antenna then hits the booster. The booster then goes out to the outside antenna. That booster is amplifying that signal. And the antenna on the roof, which is a higher gain antenna, is then blasting out that signal. As such, we can reach further distances away to a cell phone tower. So theoretically, we can be broadcasting and not be able to receive very well, because we can only receive as good as the antenna will allow us to. Thus, having an outside antenna on your roof, which is bigger than the antenna in your phone or the antenna in a jetpack, is a huge plus. And then the booster helps that because it amplifies the signal. But you can't boost what you can't see. Or you can't get, I should say. Hope that makes sense. I did a whole video on that too.
There's an Ozona Travel Center right here.
I
See
did
it up there?
Yeah.
The red roof?
Yep. I did a whole video on that too about the WeBoost system, and I show before and after as far as data speeds go. I show it with and without the booster running. And I also did that one recently on the WeBoost Sleek antenna. The WeBoost Sleek antenna is for your car, and I show that before and after also.
It's like an automotive museum, actually.
The signal strength and the gain you get, and not only the signal strength gain you get for your cell phone, but also the data speed gain that you may get. And data speeds greatly differ based on the congestion of the cell tower and stuff like that. So there's a lot that goes into it. But do they work in general? Yes.
Somebody wants to know, how did you mount your Garmin GPS so it stays where you mounted it?
Velcro.
Velcro is your friend.
Velcro is your friend.
Yep.
Whoa. What I did is they have a little mount that's on the back of it that basically you would normally put on a dashboard and you can maneuver it. So what I did is I took that mount, I took the base off of it on our dashboard. Every dashboard is going to be different unless you have a coach like this. And so what I did is I took a small thing of Velcro, put it on the bottom of the GPS, stuck that to the dashboard, and then that little arm that normally is your mounting arm comes off the back, and that's hitting the downside. Our dashboard is curved. It hits the downside of the dashboard, and I have Velcro there to hold that in place so it holds it upright. This here is just cloth. We put that there so the sun wouldn't reflect bright and block the make us very dark, because the camera will see that and adjust the brightness. So that's just actually a shirt, a black t-shirt we have taped there to cut down on the contrast or the brightness.
They want to know, what are your thoughts about getting a CB, and would a CB antenna mounted in the front of the rig interfere with the nano station?
We don't use CBs. With that said, I do have a handheld CB radio, just in case, handheld. So our motor coach did come on the roof with a CB antenna already on the roof. We found ourselves never using a CB on the road in 2008. The only time I would pull that out is if we were in a traffic jam, and then I would
just wanted to see what the truckers.
I wanted to see what the truckers were saying. So, you know what the jam was. So what I did is I took off the CB antenna from the roof, and that's where I mounted my 4G antenna. So I scraped off all the die core, removed the plate that the antenna is mounted on, disconnected that, cut the wire, wrapped my wire from my 4G antenna onto that, pulled it through the roof so it can come inside the coach. So I used that as my pull. So then my 4G antenna was on my roof, and then I mounted the 4G antenna using the same plate and just die cored it all back up. Die core is a lap sealant that you see on top of motor coaches to seal holes and what have you, vent covers, all
that.
It's
like a self-leveling.
It's a self-leveling lap sealant.
Yeah.
As far as interfering with the nano station and stuff, no. Totally different spectrum frequencies. Nano stations, depending on which one you're using, most RV parks are 2.4 gigahertz. We're talking gigahertz. And then you have 5 gigahertz. For example, even cell phones, they run in a spectrum of 700 megahertz to 1400 megahertz. So gigahertz and megahertz are really far apart in spectrum. So there's no overlapping or anywhere even possible. And CB, I forgot what the CB operates at. They may be lower also in megahertz. For example, our tire, our TPMS system, our little sensors, those broadcast, I think, at 900 megahertz.
Mellow.
Mellow yellow.
No, it's not spelled like that though.
No, and that's spelled like that.
No.
Well, I just heard mellow, so doesn't it say it right there in the title?
In the title.
Slow internet's gone. Slow internet.
Okay, hang on. Slow internet.
It says slow internet. Anyways,
in the title, we're driving today, Fort Stockton, Texas to Fredericksburg, Texas. So
it should be in the title.
that's where we're headed, for Fredericksburg, Texas.
We're 78 miles to the fuel stop we're going to have. We should make that. We're at the point of no return now. We have to go there because we were already past.
Well,
Oh, no, I don't know. Have we passed that? No, we haven't passed it
we
yet.
have not passed that one yet. 2 miles to that Road Ranger truck stop. Steve says the CB is around 27 megahertz.
There you go. Very low. Very, very low. Which also means it doesn't travel very far. But it can punch through things easier. Just like 2.4 gigahertz in Wi-Fi can actually punch through trees and house walls and stuff better than 5 gigahertz because the frequency is a larger frequency. Perfect example, you've all heard it. People have bass in their cars. You can hear the bass, boom, 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 but you can't hear the treble. That's because the bass frequency is so low, it can just smash through things, and you can hear it. Where a treble signal, a higher wavelength signal, just can't penetrate very well.
Mello's asking how your dad is doing.
But the difference between is higher the megahertz, the farther the travel, or the higher the gigahertz, the better it can travel, and or the more data it can carry.
I thought you were done.
Sorry, I'm done now.
Mello wants to know how your dad is doing. There's no change. He's still in the rehab facility. That's about that. No change. Latata says
There's a lot of change. It's just that not.
Well, we don't need to get into it.
No.
Latata says, David and Brenda, obviously you're very knowledgeable on so many levels.
Try.
My question is, do you ever tire of all of us asking you questions?
Yes.
Especially when they're not planned, like today.
No. We don't tire of the questions. So much. We do this because we want to. We don't have to do this. We can turn the camera off right now.
Yeah.
It just passes time for us.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Good night. What? And it's just the nature of this type of broadcast. Is that we tend to get the same questions over and over because we get new viewers.
People pop in and out, and they'll ask a question that might have been answered
2 minutes ago, for that matter,
or half an hour ago, or an hour ago,
or the day prior.
All of the above.
And we expect that, obviously, because we can't expect people to know what was asked, what wasn't. So the only thing that gets tiring is repeating ourselves sometimes, but that's okay because you're learning. And then you can catch me possibly saying something different than I said before and say, wait, before you said this, and then we really have a conflict going on, and that's what makes it really fun.
Adele from Saudi Arabia is online. Hi guys, as long as you're using most tech in your RV, do you think you can broadcast live GPS of your location while traveling?
Oh, we already do.
Well, Adele, we do.
You've been online with us before, right? She has. I think I recognize the name. Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
I think she has. Oh, lost the power. That's weird.
Which means our microphones are out.
Our microphones are okay. Just so you know, our people just switched over. Our camera.
Be careful of this guy though, because he's all over the road though. Because of the wind, he's going too fast for that trailer.
I'm gonna try to get by him.
Yes.
then I have more wires I gotta deal with. Okay, I'm reconnecting the tablet to the Mevo now. And we should have good audio back at this point. Let me just verify. Okay, that should be tablet audio now.
Yeah, RV Legal Eagle and Paw says all good mics, a little lower than before, but they can still hear us.
All better now, though.
Yes. It's because right now we have our mics going through the tablet.
Well, going through our professional lapel mics. We're wearing lapel mics.
Yes.
And they're RF, and they go to a receiver. The receiver is then going into our tablet, and our tablet is providing the audio connection to the video for the Mevo.
So what's going on now?
It's just saying that the tablet is still loading.
Okay. So the tablet, it goes through the app, the Mevo app, and
combines the audio with the video.
Yes, and the app shut down.
And the app on the tablet actually shut down.
So the Mevo was picking up our audio at that point, right?
Right.
And not our lapel mics. That's
Correct.
why you could still hear us, but it was lower.
For whatever reason, our tablet, that we have power going to our tablet, USB power right here, but for whatever reason, we lost power to that and it finally died.
Well, yeah, that happened yesterday too.
It does show it's charging now, so.
Okay. So, Adele, we were talking about broadcasting live GPS of our location.
Oh, yes, we were.
And we are. If you go to our site, outsideourbubble.com, and you click on the live cam view, that not only has the live camera out our windshield and off of the back of our coach, but if you scroll down, there is a live GPS location on there. And it'll tell you where in the country we are. And if you click on our little motorhome icon, it'll give you the telemetry of our motorhome, like how fast we're traveling, our elevation, and all of that good stuff. So it is there.
And that's outside our bubble, outside ourbubble.com.
Yes.
Click on live cam, click on dash cam or rear cam, and below that is the telemetry, is the live GPS data.
Yes. Steve says he asked a trucker and they use cell phones these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it's kind of hard to use a cell phone in a trucker. If you're stuck in a traffic jam, you have to know the cell phones of the truckers around you, which doesn't make sense what happened.
Hershey Motorhome says are we still good?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh. Hershey Motorhome says I was looking at getting the Weeboos. Not sure if I want the trucker antenna style or the new RV style. Does that trucker antenna have?
They're the same.
Let me
Sorry.
Does the trucker antenna have to have a ground plane or not?
No, both antennas are the same. No, it does not have to have a ground. Powering up again. Dang it! It just switched over again. Honey, we gotta see if we can do something about it. We're losing power for some reason. It doesn't make any sense.
Is it not charging?
It says it's yeah, but this tablet should be fine. I'm trying to power it up again. I don't know why it's not. We're back on the Mevo microphone. Just bear with us. For some reason, our tablet is not charging. We can go grab a. So we're just trying to adjust this again. Sorry, guys. Just talk amongst yourselves.
They usually do.
They usually do. And now we're back to the good microphones until the tablet decides to die again for some reason. You can just close those now. Close that. You're good. So we're back on our good mics. Our tablet, for whatever reason, is having an issue.
It's a brand new tablet too.
Yeah, but I think it's the power issue with these damn connectors. What I'll do next time is I'll plug in the USB charger down. Use a regular USB charger instead of coming off the dashboard, which I think is the dashboard chargers are giving us the issue. Is my guess.
So we've had that before, and we had to actually get new ones. And it is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right. Okay, so we answered the trucker antenna style versus the new RV style as far as the Wii Boost. Marcelo says, as I said yesterday, we are your TG, travel groupies. Jenny wants to know what's your favorite gadget and why.
Oh, geez. You're asking the wrong guy.
Favorite gadget? I don't know.
Are you talking? Well, gadgets can cover a wide, vast array. If you were to ask Brenda that, and you talk about cooking, it would be
The Instant Pot. It's my electric pressure cooker. I use it all the time.
Just lost it again. Okay, going to the back. We just lost it again, guys. Something's going on with the charging. The top drawer or second drawer down, get the white charging port that looks like it would be for our cell phones.
So rest area 1 mile.
Because this is a USB-C. I'm fine. This is a USB-C charger, so you got to grab the white one. That's for our cell phones. We'll be back. We're going to try to power it separately. It's okay. We've been talking a lot as it is, right, guys? Talk amongst yourselves. It's the first time we really had that issue, though, with that power going out.
These cats are just passed out. So the white charger for our cell phones, right?
Go ahead and plug that in. Hopefully the cord's going to reach.
The 2 plugs are already being used.
Unplug the Vivo one, the big block. stop. We need about 10 gallons of fuel to do that. And I would have to think we got 10 gallons of fuel still left.
Oh, yeah.
Lost connection with me, folks.
Okay, so let's see, I'm gonna try again right there. Microphone, 3 dots. Okay, so now we should be back on better audio.
Chili Instapots are fantastic. Yes, they are. Okay.
Okay, we got a lot of wind. You need to get back in your seat now.
Yes, I'm getting there.
Got a lot of crosswind now, which doesn't make me too happy. Anyways, there, we just went through all that again. Now we got another wire
Now
running.
we've got it plugged into an outlet and not the
Dashboard
12 volt
doohickeys,
dashboard doohickey thing,
which are
which seem to act a little wonky sometimes. So, Corey wants to know if our coach has a thing to go on our keychain so you can unlock our coach as you walk up like a car.
yes.
The key fob. Yes, it does. Not all coaches do, but yes, ours does. Okay. Somebody says, I have seen some 45 LPs for sale with a fridge in the bay. Do you have one? Yes, we
Yes.
do. That was an option when we ordered our coach, and we got one because that's our.
2 miles, take exit 400 for US 277 towards San Angelo.
Is that yes or no?
And 2 miles is that Roadrunner
Oh.
gas station.
Well, according to this, I still have 38 gallons left of fuel according to this system.
Okay. Well, that's why I plugged this one in just in case for point of no return.
Yeah, I know.
So in 2 miles. So yes, we do have the refrigerator slash freezer in the basement. It can be either. We use it as our wine cellar. So that's where our wine is stored. So this is Sonora, Texas that we're going through. 1 mile to the exit to that point of no return gas station. No pressure.
All the calculations I've done and the computer seems to say
In half a mile,
we'll be
take
fine.
exit 400 for US 277 towards San Angelo, Del Ris.
This is the exit.
I know it is.
There's the gas station.
I know it is. I'm going.
We're going.
We're gonna go. We're gonna do it. We're gonna.
Take exit 400.
Okay.
This will be the lowest. This is. Yeah, this would be the exit right here. And
Too late now.
Too late now. So now we got to go 56 miles. Our fuel gauge is. I don't know if we've ever had it lower. I have to trust the onboard. Well, not the onboard. I have to trust the scan gauge system that it's calculating the fuel use and everything properly. You know, because it should the engine should be metering the fuel use as you know what's being put through the injectors. It should measure that properly, and if so, it should know how much fuel it's passed through itself. And if it's correct, if the calculations or the meters and all that are correct, then we should be fine. If not, we'll be pulling off the side of the road, and then it's a really bitchy thing to get a diesel coach restarted. Because when you run out of fuel, you got to get the fuel to the compression part of the engine, and that's a bitch to start it because there's no spark plugs in these things. It all runs on compression. So when the fuel compresses to a certain point, it explodes. In fact, you can put diesel fuel on the ground and take a match to it, and you can't light it.
Now I keep hearing that Aerosmith song in my head, Living on the Edge.
Living on the edge.
Okay. RV Legal Eagle and Pause says, weather looks nice there. Here in eastern Long Island, we just got 7 inches of snow and it's about 29 degrees. Yeah, that's why we left New York.
Yeah.
This is much nicer. We don't miss the snow at all, that's for sure. David says, David, stop looking at the gas level.
I know. You don't understand. It's an adventure, right? We're outside our bubble. Right? Literally, at this point, we're outside our bubble because we are right now, I admit, outside my comfort zone with what we're doing. And Brenda's just literally along for the ride.
Yep, that's why I said you're driving, because I'm not going to drive and
She
run
actually
out of
did.
gas.
She actually said that. She goes, if you're going to try that, I'm not driving at all because I don't want to be responsible for going too fast or too slow and using too much fuel.
Yep.
So it's all on me.
I think we have 2 people from Scotland joining us. Because another gentleman just said, hi guys, just checking in from a wet, cold, and windy Scotland. How are Beacon Whisper doing? And this is Robert Forrest. I don't think Robert Forrest was the other gentleman from Scotland. I think it was another name.
Yeah, might have been.
Hey, we got 2 people from Scotland. Who knew? Beacon Whisper doing well. Earlier in the broadcast, Whisper was laying on my lap, but now they're both just sound asleep. Corey says, thank you guys for all the info. You have made me so much more knowledgeable about Ring. I think he means RVing. Yeah, oh yeah, RVing. Rob says, wow, pretty low fuel. We always try and fuel the night before. Yeah. We usually do too. We, coming from the west, going east, the fuel stop was actually past the RV park, so that's why we were debating, do we stop at that one that was just one exit up, or do we go a little further so we have more fuel in our tank when we stop in Fredericksburg? And between Fredericksburg and Burleson, Texas, where we're going next, there's no fuel stops. So that's another reason why we wanted to go a little further. Marcelo says, come on Brenda, push my hand, a 45-foot plus Jeep can't be so hard, especially with David driving the coach.
You know, we can always go start the Jeep. Brenda can sit in the Jeep and she can
Just
give it
push.
gas and push us.
Yeah, that's smart.
Or we can pull over, disconnect the Jeep, and I'll get better gas
I
mileage.
say sarcastically.
If we pull over and disconnect the Jeep and you follow behind me, we'll get better gas mileage.
Yeah, we could do that too. Adam says, at least you have the Jeep if you run out of fuel.
Well, we have no way of transporting the amount of fuel we would need to restart the engine.
Rob says, although I know the feeling on low fuel, I'm sure that you have shut down the generator.
Generator's never on when we're running.
Yeah, the generator's not on when we're going down the road. There's no point to having it on unless we need AC or anything.
Unless we need air conditioning in the rear of the coach, the generator's never on.
Yeah.
I don't. What makes me nervous right now is the hill climbs that we're doing again, and because obviously that kills gas mileage. So I'm watching these hills come up, and I'm going, no, not another hill.
The scan gauge system. Can you talk about what it is and how you hook one up?
It plugs into your ODP port on your coach. There's an ODP port, an engine port that for diagnostics, etc. And if you go to Amazon, type in scan gauge, you'll find it on there. Scan gauge, all one word, and you're looking for the diesel version of the scan gauge. And what it does is it basically reads all the codes off the engine and can give you, there's only so much information on these dashboards that they give you. So for example, they don't even give me voltage on the dashboard. So I can set up 4 different meters on the scan gauge that I can't get on the dashboard, so I can see those at one time, but I can select from anything I want, turbo pressure, stuff like that I want to monitor, load on engine load, turbo pressure, RPM, whatever. I can set 4 of those to be visually seen on the scan gauge. But what it also does is it has a really nice trip computer in it. So when you fill up, you basically tell it, in the beginning when you set it up, you tell it how many gallons of fuel your tank holds. And then when you fill up for the first time, you tell it you're filling up. And so from that point on, it starts to calculate things. And it will calculate your miles per gallon, average miles per gallon, all that stuff. And it will give me, based on the size of the tank, it will give me approximate number of miles till empty, approximate number of hours till empty, things like that, that you can't get on your normal dashboard. So that's what I've been looking at and calculating by, are those numbers. And according to the scan gauge, I have 246 miles that I can go till empty. And that I've used I have 37.2 gallons remaining till empty, and I've used 112 gallons of fuel. So what I'm going to do when we get there, if we get there, is we'll get there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this number of gallons it says that we used, and then when I fill the tank, I'm going to see how close to that is. So
how many gallons we put in?
Yes. So say we were there right now and I look at this number that says 112 gallons of fuel we have used. So when I fill the tank, I'm expecting the gallons put back in to be around 112. Now there will be a variance there. The variance being the AquaHot system, which we didn't use very much, uses diesel fuel for heat, for our hot water and what have you. So there's going to be a variance there, but we didn't use it enough.
Yeah.
We didn't use it enough that I'm concerned about that usage for this gas mileage reading. But it'll be very interesting to see 45 miles from now how many gallons of fuel we put back into the tank and how many it thinks we should put back into the tank. That'll be very telling to us about how trusting the system is.
Joe says, woohoo, things are getting suspenseful now. Don't know if I can handle the drama.
Yeah, call your friends. Tell everybody, oh my God, will they make it? Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Hope you guys are crossing your fingers and everything else.
Yeah, what's going to really
Living
suck?
on the edge.
What's really going to suck is if we do run out of fuel, and all of a sudden, oh no, guys, we're out of fuel. I got to pull over. Oh man, and all of a sudden we lose data. You guys will never know what happens until we get fuel.
Yeah, that would be our luck.
That would really be our luck. That we'll lose 4G. We won't have any data. You guys will have no idea what happened to us.
Rob says, just slow down and feather the throttle like there's an egg below it.
I don't even touch the throttle. I use cruise control as much as I can, and the road speed is 80 miles an hour. I am down to 65 miles an hour, so I am trying to conserve fuel. I'll be damned if I drop all the way down to
55.
55 though.
Yeah. Mello says, Brenda, tell David it's his fault. I am now RVing and loving it. Can't wait to meet you guys. P.S. Trying to keep my coach as clean as yours too. I'll bring a can of fuel. It might take me a day or two.
Well, that's the problem. If we do run out of fuel, we're going to have to call CoachNet, which is our roadside service provider, and they would have to bring fuel out to us, because if you run out of fuel on a diesel engine, like I said, sometimes it's not easy to restart that engine. So that'll be interesting to say the least.
David says, I'll check back in 20 minutes to see if you're on the side of the road. Kent says, it seems to me that it would have been less stressful to turn around and get your fuel back in Fort Stockton. Yeah.
We wouldn't have made it back to Fort Stockton.
Well, no, but doing the calculations and everything, it should be fine.
And if I can get behind a slow-moving semi, I can draft off of them.
Gives a new meaning to diesel pusher.
Yeah, we're pushing. We literally are pushing our comfort zone.
Jenny says, go, coach, go. You can do it.
David
says, did you just pass the station in Oxona?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
That was our point of no return if we decided to continue on.
Yes, that was the one that I said, okay, we can make this one. The other one in Junction, Texas was what, another 55 or 60 miles. Latada says, just purchased the Nest smoke detector, battery operated, for my new coach. I will install it when and if I ever get back from all the warranty work that's being done. Are you still pleased with yours?
Oh yeah, that's one of the best things I did. Hey, I don't know what you have for a motorhome, but if you have cargo bays in the basement, do yourself a favor and get yourself another Nest and put it in the cargo bay.
Yeah.
Because fires can start down there, electrical systems down there, so fires can start down there also. And you would want to be alerted to that. And since the Nest smoke detectors will tie together, if a fire starts in the cargo bay, the inside smoke detector will also go off and tell you smoke detected in basement or whatever. Not trying to spend your money or anything, just... We have 3 in our coach. We have one up front, we have one in the rear closet, and we have one in the cargo bay.
Corey says you've got to take a chance once in a while.
That's what we're doing. Some of you out there are saying, you stupid idiots, like, what are you doing this for? You know,
we're doing this for your
We're doing this for your entertainment.
I ask myself that every single day.
You got to understand, it's me that makes the stupid decisions like this.
Honestly, I said fill up in Fort Stockton. He
She
said,
did.
"No, we can make it."
She did.
We can make it.
And I knew we can make it to the one we just passed. I knew that, and we did. But I have to rely at some point on my calculations and the computer calculations. We would have surely made it if we didn't have all that headwind the last 2 days, because we would have saved a lot of fuel.
Oh, so by the way, I just logged into our CoachNet service just in case. And yes, we are still, our expiration is not until the end of March 2018.
And unless I'm totally wrong, They will bring fuel out, correct? Because maybe I'm mistaken on that.
I think they do. Let me just see.
Still, the system still tells me 242 miles to empty, based on the fuel that we've burned.
Delivery of fuel and emergency fluids.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. It just says delivery of gasoline.
Does it really? It can't be.
It says delivery of gasoline, oil, water, transmit. I think they mean diesel too, love.
Well, we're CoachNet.
They have to
for
mean
motor
diesel.
coaches.
That was a joke.
Okay.
They've got to mean gasoline, like gasoline and diesel. There would be no doubt in my mind for that. Yeah, I was pretty sure that we hadn't let our roadside assistance lapse, and I was correct because it's the end of March of this year.
See, even if you take, get your calculator.
Hang on.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I have.
Okay, what do you want me to calculate?
Well, I don't think I have what I need. Okay, so bring up Google Maps or whatever. We left, when we last fueled up was where?
All the days blend together.
I know all the days blend together. We left.
Hang on.
We left somewhere on Sunday.
We left Quartzsite. No, we were in Picacho Peak.
Picacho Peak. We fueled up right there. So calculate the mileage from Picacho Peak.
No, we fueled up right before Picacho Peak. Yes.
Okay, we were 12 miles out from Picacho Peak.
So
calculate the mileage we've gone. Calculate, let's see.
Picacho Peak to where we are now.
Calculate the mileage we've gone to exit 420.
Well, that's not going to help. We're in a different state, love. Exit 420.
Okay,
There might be a 420.
Brenda, you know what I meant.
I know.
What I'm trying to figure out is, and then we divide that by, according to this, 6.7, which is the miles per gallon, and that will tell us how many gallons of fuel we burned, which this should be telling us. This is telling us we've burned 114 gallons. I want to see if that dials in to be about the same. It should. That's assuming, once again, that our miles per gallon readings are correct. Because that needle's getting pretty low. 35 miles for those playing the long game here. 35 miles. Start placing your bets now. All proceeds go to segsforvets.org.
You're funny.
Set your bets. Segs, not sex. Segs as in Segway. Forvets.org. Damn it, another hill climb. Shit.
Where we currently are in the road to that Flying J in Eloy, Arizona, which is right before Picacho Peak, 787 miles.
Okay. So divide that by 6.7.
117.46.
So 117 gallons supposedly we have burned.
If I and we have 150 gallon tanks, so we should have 33 gallons.
This says we've burned 114 gallons.
Okay.
So I'll give it that. So that's pretty close. So with that calculation, if the miles per gallon is correct or close,
yeah,
then obviously we should have plenty. The needle is just going to be off. He did tell me, what I never looked at on the tank, and I'm going to do this, on where the fuel line comes out of the tank.
even if I just take 787 miles and divide it by 6, you know, lowballing it,
Yeah.
it's 131.16. So that's 19 gallons left.
19 gallons left right now? That's what you're thinking?
Well, if I lowball it 6 miles per gallon, right? Am I doing that right?
Well, no, that's not right, because if we have a 150 gallon tank and we have used 114 gallons, then we have approximately
36.
35.3 gallons to go. But we keep going uphill, and that needle moves so much, it scares me. So, you know, all the calculations based on that, we should be fine.
We are currently 31 miles
We are. You're
from
correct.
that pilot.
You are correct. And if it's all downhill, we'll make it. I'll just put it in neutral and we'll just roll.
I cannot guarantee that. Oh.
Yeah, this is
life
the lowest we've ever
fun.
been, that's for sure. We should probably take a picture of this and post it online.
Marcelo says, I'll bet for David's calculations. If I miss, we're too far away to push.
I guess the question is how many people out there have faith in my calculations and our little computer thing?
Versus me saying, oh, let's just fill up right here in Fort Stockton.
Which is the safe
no,
thing
I
to
want
do.
to get closer.
That's the safe thing to do. Well, as if it's any consolation.
Now you see the difference between David and me.
Now, if it's any consolation,
Yes.
or it makes you more nervous,
Oh, great.
it's telling us, the scan gauge is telling us we're getting 6.8 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
Our dashboard computer
Which has been known to be wrong.
is telling us 7.3 miles per gallon, which is better.
I was going to say, that's...
So
yeah.
there's a difference of, 3/4 of a mile there.
Well, but we've always gone by the scan gauge because the dash computer...
Well, the dash computer originally, when we first got the coach, was off by almost 30%.
Yeah.
And then we went through 5 different speedos trying to find one that was close.
Yeah, Richard says, plus, if you run out of fuel, you could damage your injectors. Don't run
Yeah,
out of
don't
fuel.
remind me.
Rob says you should be fine. Based on your info, at 5 miles per gallon, you have 110 miles left in fuel. I would guess that 15 gallons is left in the fuel after the fuel intake line starts sucking air.
Does anybody know how anybody that's a Tiffin owner out there or just generally might know? Because I never looked. This is something I never looked at.
Mr. B says every time you look at the fuel gauge, he's holding his breath.
So am I. Anybody who have a coach or know this or anything, and I know there might be different, but I'm wondering, where does the fuel line come out of the tank, or is there a line that feeds down and there's a suction hose that comes up, or is it right at the bottom of the tank? I know it's not at the bottom. I know it's not like this, because I've never seen that down there, and that would actually be dangerous to get knocked off somehow. So I know it's on the side of the tank. I'm just not sure where, and if it actually, the suction or the fuel intake is actually on the bottom of the tank.
It says if you feel it surge, shut down.
This is going to be interesting, guys. Oh, big bump on the bridge.
Walter said what I said about Coach Nat. Let's hope that when they say gasoline, they actually mean fuel. I'm thinking they do because that's the whole reason that they're there. I mean, there's a lot of diesel pushers that use CoachNet.
Well, the good news is we'll be pretty close. If we do run out of fuel, we'll be pretty close to where we're going. So there should be a wrecker that's close by that can come bring us fuel. Because, anyways.
It'll be fun. And Chase says, yeah, right now calculations don't matter. You're committed.
Yeah, that's for sure.
True. Lean forward is their trick.
It's shit like this I'm afraid of.
The hills?
We're going downhill right now. And we're about to climb again, which sucks. It is, if we make it in 26 miles, then I am going to...
You're buying me a drink tonight.
Hell, I'm drinking as soon as I get to the park. If we... it's going to be interesting to see how many gallons of fuel we put back into the tank.
Yeah.
That's going to be very telling right there.
Valerie says, typical male, Brenda, stubborn and always right, and we females have to absorb the unnecessary stress and grief. We ladies typically not like this. I don't know why he wanted to push it this hard, but
it's for viewership.
For viewers. But we don't make money doing this.
I know we don't. I know we make no money doing this.
Oh, we're going uphill again, by the way.
It's outside our bubble.
Oh, and Joe says, yeah, the Agua Hot is supposed to burn around 310. Oh, the Mevo just blinked and now it just turned red again.
Okay, now we're reconnected. No, we didn't turn you off so you wouldn't know. We're losing cell phone signal. That was our fear, of course. But...
because we're going through these mountain passes and...
But the good news, you didn't miss much. But we did fuel up. Everything's great now.
Stop. You forgot altitude. Don't get scared now. I like Chase's though. Calculations don't matter. You're committed.
That's right.
Yep. Worrying too much, you'll be fine. Plenty of fuel to get there.
You read that. 23 miles, by the way, for those playing the long game again. Our needle is just starting to touch
empty.
Just starting to touch the line for empty. But
we are going uphill.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I know the float's in the front of the tank. The float I know for sure is in the front of the tank because I had to replace that just recently. So the float is in the front of the tank. So when we're going uphill, I'm not getting an accurate reading. Now that we're going downhill, it takes a minute for it to adjust, and I'm not sure then, how quick that readjusts.
Chase says you will hear the low fuel pressure alarm first, then you will have seconds before the steering becomes manual.
Oh, great. 42,000 pound coach, manual steering. Yes!
There's always a low pressure pump in the tank and then a high pressure pump before the injectors. I would figure 15 gallons is unusable.
What?
Someone's trying to get off the fuel. What do you think about RV clubs and their discounts at camping? Well, yeah, because we're committed now. Let's just talk something else.
That would be really bullshit if there's 15 gallons left in the tank and you can't use it. That'd be 75 miles. And at 5 miles a gallon, that'd be 75 miles if that much fuel is left in the tank. That would be really, really a dumbass thing to do.
Races have been won and lost with the same action.
Yes, we've seen that.
Yes.
Formula races and NASCAR, but Formula mostly.
David said, no, the he's asking if the next diesel's in Fredericksburg. No, it's in Junction, Texas.
20 miles.
20 miles.
Not one of my smarter ideas. But
That's
I
life.
have to trust in myself, right?
Yes.
I can't. Then again, I can't. Since somebody just told me there could be 15 gallons of unused fuel in the tank that you won't get. That is not a very good system, in my opinion, if that's the case.
Jim says, David, I pray you don't hear those 4 words no man wants to hear. I told you so.
I get that. Not often, though.
Yeah.
And she didn't tell me so. We both talked about it, and we knew we could make that last one. This one was my call.
Pete says, driving to Biloxi last night, hauling a 43-foot, 24,000 toy hauler, and we're so close. We have a 30-gallon tank. We made it to the station and filled it with 31.5 gallons. So close.
I really won't. This is the first time I've never ran a calculation off of that before. If it tells me we have X gallons remaining, or we've burned gallons of fuel, it's all based on wind conditions and stuff like that too, though.
Yeah.
Of how far you can go. On a positive note, my miles per gallon has gone up to 6.9. We'll make it. Come on, the suspense has to be killing people, right?
Famous last words.
Well,
We'll make it.
I think we'll make it, but
No, I think we will. It's cutting it very close, but I think we will.
I have to say that I believe the suspense thing and wondering if we will or won't make it is working, because we have 126 viewers. So
Yeah.
normally we have 70 something as we're driving. So
Joan says, gee, I have work to do, but the suspense is killing me. No pressure. That's what she said.
that using wind resistance on the front of the, but that's just silly. Nice trailer or something like that, or that.
Yeah, taking up both lanes in the other. I think we might have lost.
Shows we're still on.
Ditch the wine, save some weight.
Hell no.
Heck no, we're gonna need that
what do you
later.
think? No, what do you think we're gonna? While we're waiting for CoachNet, that's where the wine comes in handy. We'll
John
sit out.
says, hey, your toad is diesel, so worst case, David could suck a few gallons out of it and transfer it to the rig.
You know, and we just saw
Guys,
dip.
and
We could have siphoned fuel out of the Jeep. I think the Jeep is almost full, or close to it, and that's got. I think that's a 30-gallon tank or 35-gallon tank in that Jeep. I just would have no way of transporting it. I'd have to park the Jeep directly. Well, I would have no way, because you can't siphon going up, and the import is higher. I would have nothing to put it in. I don't carry a fuel can with me, so I would have nothing to put it in. Don't think I didn't think of that though. I was thinking, our Jeep is diesel. Our Jeep has a lot of torque. If I was to hook up a tow cable to the Jeep, you could hook it up to the front of
No.
Don't think it'd move it. The Jeep can't pull 42,000 pounds.
No.
You're right.
Maybe downhill.
Yeah, it's definitely not rated for that. I think I got a tow weight of 8,500 pounds.
Siphon into a bucket and siphon it back out. We got a bucket.
Yeah, got a bucket. That's true. Do we have a hose? I'm trying to wonder if we have a hose. We do have a
Well,
hose.
you do have a hose.
I'd have to cut it down.
Yeah. Jeep 24.6 gallon tank.
But then again, our Jeep has one of those safety things where you're not supposed to be able to siphon it.
Welcome to Texas, the land of the brave and courageous. If you love Texas, then be it like a Texan.
13 miles.
Yeah, everybody says we'll be fine. So we can blame them if it doesn't work.
Yeah, they have faith in us, I think.
This is where your video will go viral.
Yeah, a viral video that's 3 hours and something long. Yeah. I think we'll just have to clip the last 15 minutes or whatever it was and put that online. Will they make it? We don't really have any viral videos. I got one that's over 100 and something thousand views, and the funniest thing about that, it was the video that is the first year after living on our 2014 Allegro bus. So it's our first year anniversary of living in the bus, and that's got the most views of anything. And then even though we did a second and a third year,
probably because David's in the shower, right?
I don't know if that's the one. Yeah, it might be.
The first year.
Yeah.
David's in the shower in that one.
And then the second year and the third year, we did videos on those, and those don't have anywhere close to the number of views.
Now everybody's gonna go to that and say, "What?"
Yeah.
Put the fuel in the empty wine bottles.
We have to drink one.
Brenda, pull over and drive the Jeep. Just kidding. This is more interesting.
Brenda, get in the Jeep and start it on and push us. Take some resistance off. Which way that flag going?
I didn't see
Oh,
the
right there,
flag.
right there. Oh, directly on the side of us. Damn it. Oh, we're going to be turning up
Well,
here.
as somebody says, it doesn't matter. We're committed now.
I know, but I'm just trying to eke out every little bit of mileage push we can get. Hey.
RV legal ego and pause. I think you should skip the next fuel stop and try for the next one to make it even more interesting. LOL.
We would not make that. Because from between Fredericksburg and Burleson, there are no stops.
Yeah. For us, at least. The Jeep pushing the rig. Brenda driving the Jeep. This is where the rear-facing camera
comes
is going
in.
to be worthwhile.
Oh, that would be funny. I would be more fearful to pull over right now and then go again, just based on the amount of torque and the power I would need to get the coach moving again in the momentum.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more power to get something moving than to keep it moving. So I would burn a lot more fuel if I pulled over and unhooked.
Rain again. Oh, it looks like we cut out and went back.
I need my coffee.
Yeah, that'll help.
Oh God.
Ha ha.
You comes in, it's fun. My video, but we sure do spend a lot of time doing it. Wow, we do. Think about that. All the videos and all the editing time. Damn. It's over 260 videos online. It's a lot of time in that. Then the blog posts. It was never the intent. Why is Honey doing so quietly on her cell phone?
Ruby Lynn texted wondering if she was busy and didn't see that we were doing the live feed, and she was wondering if we were doing the live feed. And
Yourself.
oh, she was busy doing something.
Oh. Touching the empty line.
Before you fill up, we need to take a picture of that before you turn the engine off.
Yeah.
Prosperity and all.
Okay, this is where we start rocking. We're not there yet. You guys can tell that I'm slightly nervous when we pass back there because I got a lot quieter.
And we're in a poor cell coverage area, so
Yeah.
people are saying that our video was lagging behind, and it's just, we're in a slow area.
Well, we're in an outskirt.
Yeah. TV soap's got nothing on you guys for suspense and drama. Corey says, you think coffee will fuel the coach
You
to the
got
next stop?
everybody out there right now. We got 5.2 miles. Everybody out there, contact your friends. Tell them to go watch the live feed. I want to see if our numbers go up. I want to see that happen. Contact your friends on your media. We out of 100% load. We had 20.
Okay, so Brenda called, and you get the front page of YouTube.
Come on, honey, all that parkour you do, that comes in finally handy. Office.
Get this, Richard. On the plus side.
On the positive side of that, if that was to happen, not that I ever want to see it get deployed, the foam, firefighting foam, not water, not line up there.
I think you decided to go for it to
At this point,
well,
might make it. Hey guys, bad. So I'm hoping.
I think that says 2.
We're going to try to. We're in a really bad cell phone area, so we're going to try to hold out for that semi to go up, so we can get DEF also. So I'm going to go back outside so we can get ready for all that when it happens. He's not there, and he's not.
Is that 241 or is that 7? I need your help. You need to pull out the cord so I can get over there. Yes, hit the DEF button. Huh? I don't know where. Hi. Sorry. There's a guy behind us too. Hanging back to see if we move over. That's 6 gallons. When I pulled forward, it came online again, and then it went off again. Because the metal roofs don't know. That's 8 gallons. The truck GPS is going somewhere else. I'm going here because I'm not.
They're not even getting fuel.
So is it pilot flying J guy coming out to see what you were doing?
Yeah, to see why we wouldn't move up out of the way. And I'm not sure why why this truck pulled in and didn't get any fuel at all. He's leaving.
Unless he's going to park and then something. I don't know.
Right now we're on AT&T.
Okay, so I wrote down what we have. You need to move up a little. Okay.
Here, and there's no internet. I just can't believe there's a town out here like this and there is no internet out here, 4G data with AT&T or Verizon. So what I'm going to do right now is...
Well, you need to update your thing before we forget.
Can't believe that. It just pisses me off to no end. Okay, how many gallons did we put in?
128.
Well, we're full.
128.25.
Wow. How much was it?
$2.97 a gallon. Corey says our live is working.
That just irks me that is off and that is off and that there's no data out here whatsoever to speak of in this town. This is just very upsetting. I switched over to AT&T. Okay, I think we're back. This really effing sucked. I don't know what town we were just in, but...
We were in Junction, Texas.
Junction, Texas sucks. Verizon, you suck in Junction, Texas. I don't know what else to say. Seriously. So...
We're on a major national interstate, I-10.
And we're stopping at a town. There's a town back there.
And it was a big town.
And there's no Verizon at all. So anyways, for those of you who were following along, waiting for us to show back up, thank you for waiting. I don't even know what service we're running on right now, if it's AT&T or Verizon, because we were trying both. So, what happened in the interim? We did get fuel.
Woohoo! We did not run out.
We did not run out. My computer over here told me we burned 115 gallons. However, we took on 127 gallons. So there was 12 gallons different. Now, that 12 gallons could be accountable because it wouldn't know. This only calculates fuel through the engine. It would not know about the aqua-hot. So, using the aqua-hot for heat when needed and showering. So we could have theoretically burned 12 gallons of fuel. So in any case, and we were able to get DEF. For those of you playing along the long game who knows, been following, our DEF was down to 1/4 of a tank. We are also able to take on DEF fluid a little ways to get any cell phone service at all. So,
it doesn't make sense that we had to drive away from the town to get cell phone service.
Yeah, stupid. I mean, do I seem a little upset by this? Yes. Do I seem a little irritated? Yes. And the reason is because we were really low. And we weren't sure if we were going to make it. We took out 127 gallons of fuel, so that would leave 23 gallons just on the empty line at the time. So we weren't sure if we would actually make it, but now knowing that there were still...
They said we're still spotty sometimes. We're on, but we're breaking up.
Well, as mentioned, I don't know what data service we're currently on, AT&T or Verizon, because what I did is I put both network Wi-Fi WAN adapters into my my router, so it can be using either or of them at this time. Fully expect AT&T and Verizon to have fully lined I-10. So there's no signal loss at all.
Yeah, somebody says Junction, Texas is a rural region Maybe the McDonald's across the interstate would have been better Wi-Fi. I was able on my phone to log into the pilot Flying J's Wi-Fi, and I'm not sure if some of you saw my message up on the chat screen or not that we did make it. It was just a bad data area.
Terrible. Another 45 miles to our destination is gonna do signal-wise.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm miffed at that. Bad Verizon.
Yeah,
Bad Verizon. Gets me. Takes a lot to get me going. That got me going because you guys were with us so long. And I was joking around, oh, watch us lose cell phone service. Yeah, we lost cell phone service. I would never have thought that, Chris.
This is 2018 after all.
Yeah, really.
It's not like cell phones are new.
Every major interstate should at this point.
Our followers is they entertain themselves. They stick around and they just answer each other's questions and hang out until we come back because they know we'll come back.
Sooner or later. Well, just so you guys are aware who are just getting back to us because you see we're back online after vanishing, we did make it to the fuel stop. Yay. We took on 127 gallons of fuel.
We have a 150-gallon tank.
We have a 150-gallon tank, so we were not in, I don't know where our fuel would have cut off.
Take exit 477 on the right.
But
US 290 East.
and then we were also able to take on DEF fluid for our VUP, and there was nobody there next to us. We were able to use the DEF tank right there and get fluid. Now we're eating pretzels.
Because we can't drink while we're driving.
I don't get off here, I go straight.
47, this is... No, that's confusing.
Yeah, that's a very confusing sign.
Lynn says, tell you not to sweat the small stuff over this Verizon
Take exit
service.
477 on the right to US 290 East.
There was a lot of people online wondering if we were going to make it. And it just bums me out. I'm more bummed than anything that
Continue on US 290.
we lost.
We got 93 people watching us.
We lost cell phone service for everybody that was wondering if we would actually make it. We
Corey says there were 21 of them still online waiting.
We still may lose internet again. Full DEF tank and 41 miles to go. So anyways, we're back. I'm mad. We're safe though. We're not pulled over or anything, which is obviously good.
Somebody says you can't blame Verizon for bubble. It was your choice. It was in a town.
So yeah, I can blame them. That has nothing to do with going outside our bubble. Outside our bubble was us trying to do what we did.
Outside our bubble was trying to get to the fuel station on E.
Yeah, and we did. That's outside our bubble, doing something that we normally would not do. And that whole dead area of no cell phone coverage, which is on them. So now we're out in the middle of hill country.
30-second bursts.
What's your cell phone show, baby, for Verizon?
Full bars.
Okay, so we can try unplugging the AT&T cable up there and force us to stay on Verizon. Just so you guys are aware, we're on a single lane highway.
It's a state highway.
State highway with traffic coming toward us. We'll be on this till we arrive at our destination.
So just unplug the cable that I plugged in.
Yeah. We may lose you guys for a minute here. Hey guys, I think we're back again. This obviously being out here in the hill country of Texas sucks big time for anybody looking for cell phone coverage, for data that is. I don't know why, like I said, in this day and age that's the way it is, but it is.
It is what it is.
So we just reestablished again. We tried to use Verizon again. I think it just switched us back over to AT&T. Usually we find Verizon to have the best service coverage, but right now I believe we're on AT&T. Not sure how good it is, but according to this, we are broadcasting right now. As mentioned, we're coming into Fredericksburg, Texas. We're 32 miles out from our destination. Cell phone coverage is sporadic at best, so we will drop in and we will drop out. For those watching live, this might frustrate you. For those watching after the fact, not watching this live, but as a recording, yeah, and there'll be no long delays. It'll just be jumps in time. So, yep, see, slow internet, trying to reconnect. I'm actually shocked that AT&T is giving us service. I'm still shocked that Verizon is not providing service where AT&T can.
Somebody said, well, we know what that cable did. That's when I unplugged it.
Yep, that was the AT&T cable. Shouldn't have unplugged that. My router decided.
Chill, it's small potatoes in the scheme of things.
It is.
In the end, you made it, and we're still watching.
It is. It's just, you have to understand. To me, I put a lot into doing these things, the data, and we use a lot of data to do this, and all the technology used to, as well as I believe in this day and age, we should be able to do it. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing that we're broadcasting and people around the world are watching us live.
We're broadcasting live as we're driving down
Oil platform in the middle of the ocean. Not in the middle, but off the coast of the. So it just bums me when the tech all doesn't work as it should, only because of the providers and their lack of putting service in
their lack of providing.
Yeah, in areas such as this.
So Ron wants to know, so how's
that I do believe it does what I need it to do, and what it does for sure give me data that I would not get off of my dashboard. It also will give me error codes off my engine, which my dashboard won't do. It'll read error codes. So I'm very pleased with the scan gauge, and the 12 gallons difference could theoretically equate out to usage of the AquaHot system since the last time we had fueled up, which was back in Fort Stockton. Right? We didn't fill up just before Fort Stockton.
No, that's where I wanted to fill up.
Oh, okay, so Deming. So all the way back, so we had...
Are you asking when was the last time we filled up? It was before Picacho Peak State Park.
Okay, before Picacho Peak State Park. So we did, oh yeah, so theoretically we were burning, in Picacho Peak, we were burning AquaHot for hot water, and there we were using it for heat because it got down so cold. So theoretically we could have burned, it can't because it doesn't know. He has no lights on his trailer. Oh my, you freaking idiot, you have no freaking lights on your trailer.
I don't see lights on his truck either.
You freaking idiot.
That was a guy with a horse trailer. Hang on, I got the
Jesus,
camera.
now everything just went boom because of that braking. See,
Turning to go into, he was slowing down to turn to go into
a road which we could not see.
Road,
Which we could not see.
which we could not see because it was we're in a heavy treed area.
And so I see him coming up on him, so I'm braking, wondering why he's going so slow. I'm thinking he's just going slow, he's not going to be turning. But no, he's turning. No lights, no nothing. And so he's braking to us. And I wonder if we were broadcasting that whole thing.
Yeah, we'll have to really be careful opening up the cabinets this time.
And if you guys anybody was watching on the live cam, you saw that, the live front cam, you saw that.
Yeah, there was no lights at all.
You can back us up on that one. I caught that on our dashboard. Jeez. Jiminy Crickets. I was going to wail on my horn, but this is Texas. He might have shot with a gun. Just kidding. Texans aren't that bad. I like Texans.
There was no brake lights or anything. He had the trailer hooked up to his truck, but he didn't have the electrical hooked up, or it just wasn't working because there were no brake lights. There was nothing. And that was the problem, was we just thought he was going slow.
And it's a 70-mile-an-hour road.
And it's a 70-mile-an-hour road. And we couldn't see what he was turning into because it's heavily treed.
So we didn't even see that there was a, just take my foot off the accelerator and I'm drifting, slowing down. Nope. He applied his brakes harder and harder and made the turn and... Okay, I'm over that.
Yeah, Dino was asking where we're staying in Fredericksburg.
Are we going to be going through Fredericksburg? You want a proportional braking system on the vehicle you're towing, because that saved me a lot right there. When I applied my brakes hard, the harder and harder I applied them, not us at all. It actually, the Jeep was actually braking and holding itself back with us. Yep, we're connecting and reconnecting, guys. I expect that to be the norm now from this point forward.
Rural Texas.
Rural Texas. So this might not be for you, it might be frustrating, but...
Which we love. We do love the
Oh,
hill
no,
country.
we do, yeah.
That's why we keep coming back every year.
We got to be really careful when we open up the cupboards because of that hard stop.
Yes. And
I could only imagine we were broadcasting at the time. They, you know, whoa, we're putting the brakes on hard, and then the people went
on their RV.
We use it. I should have used it back then because he did not have lights.
Yeah, and
But-
like the other day when I was driving and that semi made me slam my brakes on so he could scoot in front of me. I should have done my air horn then, but
But yes, Ubi Land, we have dual air horns at the front. They're not on top, they're inside of our front cowl. And the perfect part is they're at basically car level, car driver level. So if we're next to somebody or behind somebody and we set them off,
they're gonna
they're
hear.
pretty freaking loud.
Dino missed where we were staying in Fredericksburg. We're staying where you stayed at Quiet Creek RV Ranch or RV Resort. We just discovered them a couple years ago because they're.
Man, I cannot
Corey
wait
says when we made that hard stop, we were.
to get to the RV park and set up because I do want to drink.
Yeah. You can drink a little bit. I'll wait because
Oh, that's
we're
right.
going
We want
to
to
get
go out.
Chinese
That's right.
tonight.
We're going out to dinner tonight. Okay, you're right.
Oh, you can drink though. I'll drive. We can put in your coffee.
Yeah.
Mr. B said, I knew it was going to be one of those days when you guys had direction issue when leaving the park this morning.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right.
Wish I could buy both of you a drink tonight. Oh, there goes the camera again. Because that tape is
Not holding anymore.
not holding it anymore.
Sorry, guys. Hang on a second.
Hang on. I'll get you. Hang on. Hang on.
That's the view they have.
Watch this curve.
I am.
Oh, you feel better now.
You know, we get more view pretty quick. Stay.
Yeah, I'm buffering again.
Yeah, I just saw it saying connecting, reconnect.
Corey says, much better. LOL, we go for a fun ride every time the camera starts to fall. It's funny. This is playing back on my.
We'll play that one back.
Kurt says I'm.
Hey, love, what time is it?
2:12.
Okay, good. So we don't have to worry about the 2
Yeah.
o'clock check-in thing,
2:00 check-in.
which they're very stern about. Now we're in the land of big ranches. Diamond G Ranch.
Yeah, I just keep buffering on and off.
Or so, but one of the slow internet again. Screw it. I can't tell the story because the story's too long. Are you able to get in?
Doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to.
That's because Verizon sucks
Yeah.
out here.
Keep saying only 5%. It's not going up at all. Well, we're 14 miles from our destination, so.
Yeah, I know.
I think we're back now.
It irks me because there's all these hills around here, all these tall hills. They could have easily put a cell tower on any of these. Not that it's easy to put up a cell tower, but they could have put it
Yeah.
because there are some.
Wait. Oh, we're offline again.
I said that. I know we've done this so many times, but we never live streamed like this before, so we would never have really noticed the data loss. Live streaming, we're more aware of the. Look at how big that is.
That is a giant tank.
That's what she said. We would have no clue. Now that we're live streaming, we're more in tune with what's going on with the data. Our trip all the way from New York to Burleson was awesome. Never lost anything.
That we remember.
Well, I might have a couple, but not like it today.
Not like this.
Today's been terribly crappy for internet. Well, if we're transmitting, just so you guys know, we're 8.9 miles to our turn. We're 10 miles to our destination, our final destination, where we'll be stopping for a week. And then we go live again. Internet, if we have internet, I should say.
Yeah, John says, doesn't David know that AT&T is king in Texas?
No.
But we have AT&T and Verizon, and they're both dropping out.
Right now, I think our transmission is over AT&T because we didn't have any data until you plugged that cable back in, and that was direct Verizon. And before you did that, then when you plugged it in, it balances the load between Verizon and AT&T. But the stream is going to be considered one, and it would stay with one provider. So I'm guessing this is AT&T. You know, they should really have signs, dangerous curve ahead. Oh, look, they did. I can't wait till we get there. Yay, 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 yay. Can't wait till we get there. Just to end this day. We're gonna go out for Chinese food. Hip,
Probably get food poisoning.
hip, hip, hooray. We'll end up getting food poisoning. It's just another day. How was that, dear?
That's good, dear.
I don't know if we were broadcasting that or not, though.
By the way, the cats are still sound asleep. None of that really
None of that
affected
them at all, yeah. I saw that we were offline, at least I thought we were offline, so I don't even know if my little rendition of the day went out there in the universe. As soon as we get there, we'll be going offline before we go inside the check-in. Only because when we get there, we have to go down a hill they're built on a slight decline, and I'm sure when we go down there, we'll lose the signal probably. Oh, la 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 la.
But you know,
Look at that turn up there. It looks like an IndyCar turn.
yeah. I was just saying, but you know, this is life. This is
real.
real. We don't edit this.
No, if we would have slammed into the back of that cattle carrier or whatever that was,
A horse trailer.
yeah, that would have been that. You guys would have been with us with that. I got mad at that one, man. I yelled at him. Not that he can hear me, mind you. It just was upsetting. Ooh, look at that view. Hey, have any of you gotten a chance to check out the Notes from Neptune Uberfest thank you party? Get to see a totally different side of me.
Corey's wondering if the park that we're going to has good data.
They do.
They do. That's why we keep going back there. They actually have internet that is usable.
And they use a Ubiquity network, just as like the same ones I put in. And the best part about that is I know all the back doors for Ubiquity systems. So I can actually, I don't, but I could get around their speed restrictions. But the data when we were there, the speed they were running at the time, allowing at the time, was more than adequate. They did it very well.
Yeah.
I actually commended them on the data in the park.
Lewis wants us to turn the camera around so you can see the road. If you just go to outsideurbubble.com, there's a live cam view at the top of the page, and you can go there, and we do have a camera pointing out the windshield so you can see what we're seeing.
That is outside our bubble, outsideurbubble.com. In the top menu bar is live cams, and there you go.
Ah, Mush is here. Mush says, was there live for the band? You rocked.
Thanks, Mush. It really was a great night of music.
Yeah.
Wow, what a night of music under the stars with a crescent moon. Oh, running
had,
off of a generator.
5 or 6 campfires going around. 6.
And we had running off a generator, and our coach was used as the stage. Or outside of our coach was used as the stage, with our LED lighting as the lighting system.
Yeah.
For me, it was surely a night to remember. That was a blast.
Good night.
Yeah. Okay, 1.8 miles to our destination.
No,
Three-
to our turn,
3.3 miles
to our destination.
I'm sorry, you're correct. 1.7 miles to our turn, 3.2 miles to our destination.
Careful.
Yeah,
Oh, look, another trailer with no lights.
he's trying to go uphill with that. His engine's not strong enough to pull that piece of machinery up the hill. La, 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 la.
In 1 mile, turn left on US 87.
Next time anybody has a chance who wants to try to catch us having one of our parties, our camp jam, right now the only one we have scheduled as an official camp jam is June 21st, Friday, June 22nd, Friday, June 22nd at Southwoods RV Resort.
You've got the 21st stuck in your head because that's my
Yeah,
birthday.
I know. It's right after your birthday. So June 22nd, it's a Friday, RV, if you're up in New York, up part of New York.
Southwoods RV.
Southwoods RV Resort. That's the next official camp jam we have scheduled.
Turn left at the traffic light.
And by camp jam, we mean party. Okay, let's see. Gotta go through here.
Yes, you're turning
Right
here.
here. I have to watch for these crazy car people.
Crazy car.
Can you check that way
In
for me?
1.5 miles,
After this truck,
arrive
you're
at
good.
2647 US
You're
87
clear.
on the left.
Okay, tow car cleared. Everything's good on that curve. Yay. And we're coming in. .4 miles up here.
And I'm assuming that's plotting us to the right place, but we just got to make sure.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the GPS, you know, it's off a little bit, and you don't want to try and slam your brakes on to come up to it.
Slow internet connection, of course. Right when we arrive somewhere, there's a slow
I'm gonna
internet
shut
connection.
the computer so we can watch. There's the place we got those burgers.
These burgers were pretty good.
They were
Of
very-
course, slow
they-
internet connection right when we're arrived.
3/4 of a mile, arrive at 2647 US 87.
I think they're just
on the
around this
left.
curve.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, they're across from this hill.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that now.
I got a car behind me, so I'm being careful. Are they on top of the hill?
I think they're right on
And
like
then-
the
then it-
crest of the hill.
And then it drops down.
Yeah.
Further, a little further than we thought.
Yeah, but this merges into
It's right
one
there where the
lane,
flags
so-
are.
1/4 mile, arrive at 2647 US 87
Okay.
on the left.
So, in case we lose you going down this little hill, we're going to do this right now just in case. I'm David.
I'm Brenda.
We're from OutsideOurBubble.com, and you've been watching a live drive from, where were we? Fort Stockton,
Fort Stockton,
Texas,
To
to Fredericksburg, Texas, and we had some fun along the way. So in
Was it
case
fun?
yeah, it was fun. So in case we drop out and lose you, that was our closing. Yay.
But we'll keep streaming until we
We're going to try to
Go
keep
to
streaming and
check-in.
see what happens here.
speed
And then
bumps.
if I see we're still streaming, then we'll do our
Like
official
coming-
ending.
Like coming down that hill, you're really gonna be speeding.
Yeah, really. See, I went right between the speed bumps. I'm nifty like that.
Wow, those tires.
Well, the only ones that touched was our internal tags.
And our
RVs
car.
pull through to stop.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to be behind a steel building. Yippee. And I got I hate one of the things we don't like is these bumps.
Speed bumps.
Because they're at an angle too, which causes your RV to go sideways on the bump.
Wobble.
Which is not a good thing. I don't mind going straight over speed bumps. Don't like the wobble. So in any case, we're going to stop right here.
Okay.
Neutral. Air
We're
brakes.
still broadcasting.
I think we're still broadcasting. 91 people out there, it looks like. So we're going to end this thing. This is crazy as it was today.
Yeah.
We're here. We made it. We're in Fredericksburg, Texas. We'll be here for the next week. We will be leaving on next Tuesday and heading up to North Texas Jellystone Park, where I already know a number of people have booked to come meet us. So
Burleson, Texas.
Burleson, Texas. So in any case, we hope you enjoyed the trip and answered your questions for you. And I guess we'll see you online. I'm David.
I'm Brenda.
We're from OutsideOurBubble.com asking you, when's the last time you got outside your bubble?
You're doing like a whole little mime thing.
That was today, by the way, when we went really close to the empty part of our fuel gauge. That's outside our bubble, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, should I show them the picture I took?
Oh, you can try. In case you guys are wondering how close we actually were. We're still broadcasting, I think. I don't know if this will work or not. I'll tell you if it does.
Okay. There's our fuel gauge.
Okay, closer, 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 right there. So on the bottom right there, you can see where our fuel needle was when we stopped to get fuel. That's how close we were. Totally outside of our bubble.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm David.
I'm Brenda.
We'll see you next time on the road. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we got to somehow stop this. Bing a bada boom.
Hit the button.